Hello. who needs a countdown segment when the chat does it for you? Oh, I'm speaking microphone. Let me just pull that down just a little bit. Hello, everyone. We have liftoff finally. I'm also just going to do rolls while I wait for Discord and such to get its shit together. Hello Mizuki, and hello Ringo, hello, I think Knight was in chat somewhere, hello Jackal. Hello Lolka. Hello Les. Let me find... not stream schedule, stream going live. Okay, just keeping an eye on that for when it happens. Hello Antika. Alright, well while I'm waiting for everything to boot up, let me just do a couple of rolls because I've got some stuff. Let's see what we get. Streamer luck maybe? Probably not. I don't think I've had some in ages. Nah.
Hi, I'm Spot from Operation Reserve Team A6. My job is to protect the other troublemakers on my team, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Boop. I've technically got 2 more loads. Let's try again. You know, why not? Okay, a 4. And 1 more for good luck. Ah, it's a shame I didn't have enough to get, that's close. Oh well. Ah, 3. Of course it's a 3.
I'm Lava, a caster.
Hello,
join
Lava.
you simply because I'm bored and want something to do. But I heard my sworn now.
Yeah, I don't care. Okay, well at least we got 1 duplicate that actually mattered. There we go. Might as well just get all that in. Boop. Right. It's taking Discord a little while to load up the link. Oh well. I think for the most part everyone's getting ready now, so... Yee, Lone Trail. Been waiting for this one for a while. Let me just double check audio levels. Audio levels seem okay. Hello Scarf, how you doing? Okay, I think there is a video. Let me just... There it is. Ooh.
We were born to pursue knowledge. For we were all born with naught.
Elf.
Before we were given a language, our hands reach out without being taught.
Snake.
All are to see. All are to know.
So I did read up on Dorothy's vision.
We theorize. The pursuers then throw themselves to the dark again. Bequests of the old, dotting our land. Enlightened futures they do not grant. Real enlightenment hides within these black thorns of the crystallines. Originium, harbinger of our calamities.
I love the music in this
of
one.
our creations.
I love it. It's still, yeah, such a cool.
Catastrophes engrave our minds and motions. But a glitter are our deeds. Time they transcend. thus were made acquiescent to all retaliations.
And once again, silence exists to be thrown around everywhere.
Now we pursue at a border again. Let only fools remain stagnant.
The build up.
History drags. Lifeless, eroded, like pebbles become sand. They would never know. When we raise our eyes, a dome we shall gaze through. Visions, not of the land beneath, but of a world above. Forerunners were gone in glare. Aftercomers will seek their vestiges. There is only one mark. The truth.
This is so much better when I have all the context. Ooh. But yeah, now that I've actually gone through everything, I'm... Is my mouth not... No. But yeah, now that I've actually gone through the stories I've been paying attention to, oh my god, now. Let me just double check something on my what do I need? I need to fix something here. I'm liking the lobby theme so far. By the way, what did you think of Dorothy's vision? I found it a little confusing to follow along sometimes, but I think like the main, like the actual, like important part of the story, I liked it, to be honest. It's a shame I didn't get to like read it myself more so. I just sort of had to pay attention to the story, but I didn't like that guy. The oh, what was he? Director of Energy? Something like that. Ferdinand, yes. And hey, part of this was in game. Didn't like him. Oh, there we go. Discord's up. But yeah, so I found it interesting with the pioneers and such. I've learned a little bit about Colombia now, a little bit more about Colombia, I should say. I saw a tweet earlier of writer from a famous game praised the Lone Trail story. Oh, okay, interesting. Alright, so I'm assuming that's the stages. Is there anything else here that I need to deal with? Nah. Ferdinand's sprite is so blurry. I suppose when you mention it. Okay, I think audio is fine. Just put it down on my headset. Alright. Dark clouds. Rain is coming to Tront. Oh, this is picking up from the end of Dorothy's vision. If, in a century or millennium, our descendants walk among the stars, the masses will sing her praises. Well, funny about that. A little over 500 years in the future. She sat on a tree stump, humming as she observed the shapes of the clouds above. It was not until her mother called for her that she hopped off and ran towards the voice. Colombia can't be the USA. Tremon's is written with a U. The low flight that they were about to take was all too familiar to her parents. Otherwise, they would not have taken her long. Her goggles were strapped on, and her seatbelt fastened. As the engine roared, the aircraft began to slide down the runway. The wind brushing her cheeks grew stronger and stronger. Scared, she closed her eyes. Then, her body felt very light, a nauseous feeling gushing through her larynx, and her heart raced to the tip of her throat. She squeezed tightly into her mother's embrace. Fortunately, the feeling didn't last very long. When the aircraft stopped jolting, she slowly relaxed. But she was still afraid to open her eyes, until her mother lightly tapped her shoulder. She finally found the courage to open her eyes and look around. From this angle, the city where she had lived her whole life felt so foreign and strange. The crowds that she was struggling to squeeze through now looked like tiny, insignificant insects. Make sure you don't skip over any dialogues through it. It seems not important. A lot of people skip just to reach the lore bomb parts. I mean, I'm not sure if you've been on these streams before, but I tend to read pretty much everything that's prompted in front of me. The only exception being IS, but that's only because you read the same thing all the time. Quiet Karma is back. Are you sure? What does everyone else think? Because, I did change it recently. Okay, that is actually lower than normal. Let me just put up a little bit more. I don't like messing with the gain. That's probably louder now, at least. Yeah, there's an easy way of doing this. Hmm. Fuck's sake, let me, go into filters. Put the gain up by quite a bit. I do not like peaking the microphone though. That's the problem I have. I either put the gain up and it peaks the microphone and makes the audio sound shit, or it's quiet, apparently, according to some people. And I do not know which one to... I do not know which side to go with. The people who say it's fine as it is, or the people who say, oh no, it's too quiet compared to everything else. Even though those are often the lower of the number of people. Let me double check how that sounds now. I can hear you well like usual. See, that's basically what the thing that I keep getting is, but anyway. We'll see how it goes. I don't think you are sounding bad. I'm not peaking at the moment. I'm trying to keep my voice down a bit. Anyway, that's enough of a delay. Her mother pointed up, prompting her to look. sky. Fake, perhaps. The sky was so clear and bright. Outskirts of Max, District of Columbia. Columbia 1099. Federal Nomadic Prison. Did I say nomadic? I might have said nomadic. Eh. And yes, the armor they wear does look weird. I also noticed, not so much for this one, but the Rhine Lab guards, I noticed that you can see their faces through it, so like the front panel is actually extended out a bit. So it's like they've got a screen in front of their face. It's kind of weird. Anyway. Sir, you're sick. What? I'm as healthy as... I'm as healthy as can be. No, I can tell. Alcoholic. Crapulent and insomniac. In this oppressive nomadic prison, surely you haven't had the chance to enjoy much of the finer things in life. You're right about that. I mean no offense. I get the sense that you might need some rest and recreation. Have you been to Siesta, Minos? Please stop making fun of me. No, this is an invitation. Please, choose one. Think of it as a way to kill time as this boring wait drags on. Minos. Ah, Minos. The fruity aroma of its streets rides the wind past its pristine white walls. More importantly, the innate elegance of its beauties will have you reluctant to leave. Alright, I can already imagine the extravagant life you live. I'm green with envy. No, what I'm saying is that it's all prepared for you. All prepared for you. What do you mean? I believe an illness like yours can only be cured in such an environment, and you've been a great help for me across a variety of matters. Men like you deserve the finest of treatments. Get rid of the phone. There we go. After a few months, any gloominess clouding your mind will have completely dissipated. You'll be as strong and sturdy as the Minoan craftsman. You may even enjoy a stimulating romantic encounter. This is starting to sound like an advertisement more than anything. Mr. Justin Fitzroy Jr., that's a name you can't say 5 times drunk. Let me say this again. I'm fine. Please stop toying with me. Is he a fox? Yeah, he looks like a fox with the tail at the back. Please, Mr. Justin. Please, Mr. Justin was my father. Call me Justin Jr. He technically did. Sorry, let me just say. Alright, Justin Jr. So even business section people at Rhinelab know their medicine? No. I don't know the first thing about medicine. Who would be interested in something so complicated that can affect no visible, immediate change? You're one of those. Then what in the world are you talking? I'm sure you're dying to know what kind of illness you have and who spread it to you. Take a look around you and remember, your superior, that unsympathetic, good-for-nothing judge, and even the old warden, so unpleasant even after he retired. You should have been hailed as a hero after you retreated from pioneering. Or, at the very least, enjoyed a comfortable life with a fancy house in a nomadic city on a government stipend. You still sound like you're selling something. But now, you looked into my background? That's suiting medicine to the illness, sir. And the way I see it, your situation is hopeless. Okay. The remedy I prescribe is a vacation, a luxurious home, bottles of fine wines, beautiful specimens of your preferred gender, and top-notch security service. I don't understand. I know you came from. I know you came here for. I know what you came here for. There we go. You're gonna take that one back with you. If you made it all the way here without trouble, then Rhinelab has the then Rhinelab and the brass must already have an agreement. What's the point of bribing me now? I need an answer first. Are you willing to take fate into your own hands? Who isn't? Right. Which is why you're very unlucky, and also lucky in a way. At the very least, you know the obstacle in front of you, and your predicament. For instance, you've always played lackey for someone else. You were deliberately ignored and cast here. You may also... Oh, you also know what you want. For instance, you've been planning to propose to a certain someone, which got delayed by this trip, right? Oh, I wonder how that proposal would go on the Minoan Plains. Is bribing someone selling something? I mean, I still don't understand. It still sounds more like it's selling him a trip than anything else. Like, I don't, like, is this bribery, or is he trying to, or is he doing a door-to-door salesman at the moment? It's like, yes, What do you need me to do, Justin Jr.? It's simple. Sell the information on all the prison's special procedures to Rhinelab. I guarantee you'll find the price I'm willing to pay more than attractive. That certainly wouldn't be hard, but you'll be held accountable. We came prepared. I mean it. The old men behind you have a serious appetite. I spent twice my budget to get all this in order. They've been plenty arrogant this last couple of years, and that won't do. Those greedy, selfish idiots haven't been willing to face facts. What, do they think they're some kind of Ursus or Lifanian nobles? I prefer practical men like you, and so does Rhinelab. So, you could make a considerable fortune out of this. Then you and I can send those stubborn old men to prison. They won't get a chance to turn things around for the rest of their miserable lives. Doesn't that sound nice? You want me to defect? Hold on. Who the heck? We couldn't have picked a worse time. A letter from the bank. I thought I paid it all off. Ah. Justin Jr., this money. Did I forget to mention? My bad. Seems I'm not fit to be a doctor. This is your first course of treatment. So much? And the most effective cure for your disease is power and wealth. Well, okay. I assume you already heard, but the writer of Baldur's Gate 3 has complimented Lone Trail heavily. Yes, someone in chat mentioned earlier. I'm honestly quite surprised. Well, I shouldn't be surprised by it, I suppose. I guess I'm not used to certain, like, spheres of gaming talking about other spheres of gaming. But it's really nice to see. Yeah, I guarantee it will get... Oh, yeah, I guarantee it will get to the root of the problem on behalf of Rhinelab. I understand. Pleasure to work with you, Justin Jr. The pleasure is mine. Let me ask you one more thing. Is Rhinelab full of men like you? No, 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 no. They're all freaks. The freakiest you've ever seen. But I'm cool with freaks. Like the one we're looking for today. It's all ready, sir. Good, good. After all that effort, I finally get to meet our famous freak. Please, don't forget what we talked about. I hope you'll be at my cocktail party in Tront next month, as my personal guest. No invitation necessary. I'm immediately assuming he's dodgy, just because. She stood in the center on the day of her parents' funeral. People came and went around her. One after another, men she didn't know offered their condolences in front of her parents' portraits. A science journal's editor-in-chief, a high-level government official, a legendary investor in the finance world, the representative of a technology conglomerate. All of them looked so saddened. Saddened that the genius inventor husband and wife brought the world of science to new heights only to both die young. None of them could understand. They couldn't understand why. When this era-defining technology flight had just taken off. Oh, yeah, okay, I get that. I saw the... Okay, yeah, I saw them as being the same dashes. Anyway, when this era-defining technology flight had just taken off, pun, why would they waste their energy and effort on something as meaningless as reaching the highest altitude possible? I feel like many test pilots have died doing that, so it's not exactly that difficult to understand. All of them were furious that, with the death of the Wrights, the government-sponsored plans became a laughingstock, and their enormous investments had gone down the drain. One by one, the guests all left. She stood alone in front of her parents' grave, and lifted her head up to look at the clear sky. I guess that's probably the reason why she's so obsessed with going to space then. Remember when you asked if it was the same Wrights that invented the plane? Yeah. I suppose, to be fair, when they spoke about it in the flashback in the comic, it kind of made it obvious as well afterwards. So, like, I asked, and then there was the flashback where they just graduated or whatever, and they were planning to start up Rhinelab. And that's when they mentioned how they died in the crash and all that. That's like, ah, yes, okay. Yet, it was so dark and gloomy. Okay. The light is blindingly bright. Past the passageways, dark shadows, the uncharacteristically bright lights keep Justin Fitzroy Jr. from opening his eyes. This is a prison? I thought they were taking out an inmate. The brightly yellow laboratory is, right, exactly the same as the ones in Tremont. Ah, the song. Justin Jr. takes 2 steps to feel things out, and finds his attention instinctively drawn to the equipment so clean and shiny that there is light reflecting off it. There we go. I mean, I suppose some people make libraries in their cells. I mean, obviously, like, low security prisons where people can have stuff in their rooms. But this is the first time I've heard of someone having a laboratory in their room. How much did this cost to build? They built all this for one... Oh, they built All this for this one man's sake. Deep in the area of the laboratory, untouched by light, an old man whose face is hidden guards a radio as ancient as himself. This is a prison? You call this a prison? God damn. Kirsten... Okay, this is the second time now I've seen a But the real name is Kristen. Okay, so Kirsten in the manga is a misspelling. Okay. Forgive me if I end up forgive me if I keep saying Kirsten though, because I've gotten too used to saying it that way now. But anyway. God damn, Kirsten built a whole replica lab here just for you. She really thinks highly of you, doesn't she, convict number 30? Okay, they're kind of right with the old bit. You aren't the regular liaison, but I've seen your face. On Dorothy's vision, there's both. Oh. Isn't Kirsten a guy's name? No. At least I've never heard of a guy called Kirsten. I've only heard of women called Kirsten. It might be a gender-neutral name, but I'm not sure. You're a Rhine Lab director? Well, that's just hurtful. I played no small part in expanding the company to its current size in such a short period of time. How could... fuck it, I'm just going to say Kirsten. How could Kirsten not have told you about me? Kirsten is an actual name, never heard of the name Kristen. I feel like I have, but like not a common one. Like it's one of those where you deliberately spell it different to how it would normally be spelled in order for it to be unique. It's that kind of rarity. I don't know. I'm sticking with Kirsten, to be honest, just because I've gotten so used to it that I don't even... It feels weird trying to say it the other way around. Or maybe I'll just do what what Hypergriff seems to be doing and just interchange it. Even the Rhine Lab Access video narrator says Kirsten. Oh my god. Anyway. I have no interest in people like you. I'm a sick, crippled man. Why do you want... what do you want from me? Oh, don't talk like that. I've read your file. You were extraordinary. If it wasn't for... Hello, cat. Why did Catherine name the stream? It doesn't say Ad Astra applesauce, cat. Anyway. Sorry. I'm pretty sensitive about the past. Oh, alright. But I'm really curious. What is it that Kirsten wants you to accomplish so badly? She went to all this trouble. She didn't tell you. Which means you have no need to know, boy. Oof. This isn't the first time a science freak has mocked me. Well, no biggie. My job here is to take you anyway. Looks like your little project has moved on to the next stage. She needs you there in person. It's about her survival plan. So, you do know. You sly little punk. All I know is that Kristen has had you working on something to do with originium and the human body. I don't like the sound of that. Also, what time did you want to hang out? Probably... Oh. 9 to 11 your time, maybe? Probably 11 your time. Anyway. It's not my area of expertise, but at the very least, I know one thing. Rhinelab's control is not a coward who fears death, and she definitely has no illness that needs healing. Which means there's something else going on that's making her desperate for a way to extend her life. Some kind of extreme circumstances. You're a smart one. No wonder she chose you to bring me out of this place. But you'll have to wait a little longer. It's almost time for the Vice President's speech. Oh, that reminds me, wasn't Snake Lady, wasn't Snake Lady on the Vice President's payroll, if I remember correctly? A speech? You're into politics now? No, today is an interesting day. Patience is a virtue, kid. Now, we still have to introduce ourselves. I'm Logan Williams. Why is that such a familiar name? Why is that such a familiar name, but in, like, alarm bells, red flags, an ambulance whining? I know, I definitely know him. It's not the arsehole in charge of the facility that Rosmontis was in, was it? Was that Logan Williams? I forgot what they were called, water barrel. I can't remember the name of the facility. Okay. This arsehole. Water tank. Okay. It's a pleasure, it really isn't. I'm Justin Fitzroy Jr., Business Section Director at Rhinelab. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. An outsider to the world of science and technology. I'm only here to bear witness to history, sir. Okay. Dear Colombians of Tremont. Should I say Tremont or should I say Tremont? I mean, it sounds very French-Canadian, but I don't know. Dear Colombians of Tremont, this is your Vice President, Conrad Jackson. I'm sure many of us are confused by today's press conference. Before I explain anything, I'd like to have a chat with you all. Tremont. Oh, okay. Or Trimount. Same thing. Is this supposed to be like tri-state area or something? Anyway, I just realised I've seen several mentions of the Vice President. Is there a president? I'm assuming so. I just can't remember if president's ever been mentioned. Anyway. Yes, there is a president. Have they been mentioned or shown in the game yet? I've probably missed it if it has. I just only remember the Vice President being speaking to... Not yet. Oh, okay. Anyway, okay, I read this bit. Do any of you feel that on our Terra today, it's gotten hard to focus just on the cities, or even the country in which we reside? There is more and more to be proven. Exchanges between nations have become more frequent, and likewise, conflicts and confrontations have become more intense and unavoidable. So, I want to ask all of you, Colombia has only been around for a handful of decades, but our history is already as rich as any other nation's. I would say that's about as cap as the real country saying that. Anyway, what is it that we have used to achieve this? It's our thirst for knowledge that drives us to explore the boundaries and depths of science. It's the pioneering spirit that flows in the veins of every single Colombian. That's my answer. That's our answer. Knowledge. Anyway. And to maintain these two things, we are always willing to pay the price, no matter how high it may be. Ah, I like that. The moment I read that, Les popped up with the human sacrifice mention in chat. What is Jackson talking about? The next election is right around the corner. He hasn't really done anything in the last couple of years, so he's probably anxious. Paying a high price? It's not exactly off to a great start. I mean, yeah, to be fair, for someone who's trying to become president, or at the very least trying to maintain election to be vice president, I can't quite remember how re-elections work. He ain't exactly doing a good job. In this city of technology, Tront, I don't know, there are over a dozen special plates. On these plates, we are working tirelessly on countless research projects. We're developing, discovering, and guaranteeing our future ways of life. Many of you here are participating in those projects, and I am very proud of you. In just 2 weeks, we will announce an achievement that is truly the greatest among them. It will change the landscape of international relations and will allow us to seize the initiative, to never again fear any storm across any lands. That's a bit foreboding. It will be Colombia's first step into a new era. That does sound very foreboding. He kind of looks like him, but without the double. Anyway, first step into a new era. I heard Jackson was already a famous orator and activist back in college. And now he's holding a now he's holding a press conference in Tront. You know what that means. Wait, is it? It is! What? I thought that was just coincidence. Okay. Didn't expect to see you like this, but okay. I thought it was just coincidental because in the Victoria arc, that random mercenary with the blonde hair, every time I saw him I kept thinking of the Colonel from chapter 9. So when I saw this guy, I'm like, oh, he looks a bit like Ferdinand, but without the stuff. No, in this case it actually is. Let's cut to the chase, Colonel Blake. Oh, is that the Colonel he was talking about in Dorothy? You need my help and I need yours. This is easy. Help? Yeah, sure. A superweapon crafted specifically to keep that damned shard of Londinium in check. Who knows how much money the military poured into that thing? But now, Kristen and all the techs on the project disappeared without a trace. Wait, she's gone as well? And that, what does the handbook call that big ring again? The hammer? I'm assuming hammer anyway. Damn it, how does she hide such a big thing? Oh well. The military is being pretty gentle as it is, not surrounding the city with an entire fleet of high-speed battleships. And this is what I'm here for. I have to admit, Kirsten really took me for a ride this time, but what reason do I have to believe that a failure like you can take care of this problem? There are a lot of companies in Colombia that can rival Rhinelab. There's nothing stopping us from taking a military approach and handing everything over to some other place. You're right, Colonel Blake. I failed, but I'm no fool. If the military were really that hardy, you would have done this a long time ago. You army guys were never the meek humanitarians you're trying to play. Oof, he got caught out immediately. And I, the former Director of Energy, I know Rhinelab. With my help, whatever you end up doing will go much smoother. Especially if you want to take care of this as quickly and as quietly as possible. Why should I trust you again? Is there anyone easier to keep in check than a failure with nothing to his name? I mean, that's not exactly the best argument you could make. I never thought there would come a day where you called yourself a failure, Ferdinand. Why are you so fixated on this? I guess revenge? Always high and mighty, never revealing her secrets. She threw everyone's hard work and achievements under the bus, sacrificing the whole of Rhinelab. Kirsten doesn't have the right. No one does. Alright, that's the most convincing thing you've said today. I will say, so far, the Colombian armor and military gear looks shit. I don't know what the designers in this country are thinking. Hallway outside Control's office, Rhinelab, Tront. Hey, Mumu. I don't actually like this feeling a whole lot. Too quiet. The air's so chilly and dry. And the light's awfully cold. Eh? No idea what's up ahead either. How's the light cold? Things weren't so lively back in the day. Most of the time, everyone was just busy with research. We rarely ever saw each other, but after meetings, we'd party and get drinks. Had the table legs with the project reports we just finished. I miss that feeling. The feeling of being accepted. The feeling that we were making a difference, that our work had purpose. You have to feel nostalgic for that too, don't you? Yeah, there we go. Kristen? Warm light is orange light, cold light is blue. Okay, so they're talking about the colour, not the, it's just the way, for some reason, the way I read it, I only read it as, like, physical warmth and cold, not as in, colour. Yeah. You can stop dragging your gross tail across the floor, and nobody's coming to clean today. Oh, there we go. I mentioned the other one. I'm just going to call you Hull, because that's easier to remember. It's either that or Kayak, so make your pick. Anyway. Oh, so you've come here to try and... Oh, so you come here to cry your eyes out, huh? Guess I should have stayed hidden a little longer. Were you waiting for me? Mm-hmm. Then why are you standing all the way over there? I got to be careful. A kid who just lost her parents might have a pretty bad temper. Besides, I thought you already had a water clone ready at the moment ready the moment I stepped into the room. Oh. Oh, damn. Oh, I like the music. I like the artwork. I love the artwork. Since I'm found out, I might as well drown you right away and stuff you into a dead power armor. Okay. I would say that's, I would say that's, somewhat, dark, but considering that you would sort of had that happen to you, I'd say that's fair. Oh? I didn't know that you were such a vengeful elf. A Maylander agent infiltrating this place, huh? What are you up to? Infiltrating? Think again. Would Control's office be that easy to infiltrate? Are you working for Control? What kind of deal do you two have? And what's she got you... and what's she got you doing for her? Do I need to put up... No, I think everything's fine. I might have actually made a bit... Nah, that's fine. Oh, shit, I missed something. I thought I didn't click it yet. What the fuck is that? Are you betraying the Maylander the Maylander Foundation for this? Cthulhu. I'm putting the volume down a bit. Actually, no, I'll just put the volume down on my headset. So many questions. Why don't you ask Kristen yourself? You're so close to her. I'm sure she'd tell you. That's her race name. Oh, okay. Right. You're at the end of your rope. Why else would you expect to find Control in her office? First, I thought that was a... You know, it is... You know, I can actually kind of see it. I can kind of see what you mean. Kristen really asked you to come? If I told you I invited myself here, would that make your heart ache more? This is really sort of weird music. She doesn't have the time to deal with you right now. Perhaps she's already sick of all you backstabbing and all your distractions. Maybe she never had a place for you in her plans. Whatever you want to think. That's not your place to say. I'm just trying to remind... Oh, I'm just trying to remind you of the kindness of my heart, or pity, that... Oh, or pity if that's how you want to see it, that you should try and not be so tense. I don't know why I thought there was someone else talking then. I gave the voice I was giving to Muesli. Never mind. Don't you think you know... Oh. Don't you think you know her better than I do? If I take the apostrophes as breaks, something like that. Anyway, I've known her a lot longer than you have. Maybe I don't understand her. But I know what it is she's trying to do. Ah, right. It's hard to blame someone for grasping at straws when they're desperate. But if you get in the way, next time, I'll really kill you. The dreadful Liberius has vanished. Aside from the droplets of water on the sofa, the fight earlier might as well have never happened. The door closes. Muesli doesn't try to give chase. I know it's not pronounced muesli, I just find it funny to say. There's no telling how much truth there was to Hull's words, but her presence alone already explains a lot. She should ask Kristen directly. This is why she came here today, and she still has many other questions. Kristen. There is no one here to answer her. Muesli's voice echoes throughout the empty office. Her shadow is split into two halves by the wall, like two people standing at a branching path. When and where did this all begin? Everything that once was has changed, yet she knew nothing about it. This familiar room, this familiar hallway, both seem so foreign to her now. She hates that feeling. It's just like the time after she was born, when she realised for the first time that she was all alone in the world. On the day of Rhinelab's foundation, everyone had faith that this was the starting point of the company destined for greatness. The idea made everyone nervous. It cheered them all up. It put smiles on their faces. It kept them up at night. She and Saria chatted about the future on the balcony until the next day's beaming sunrise shone directly into their eyes. At that moment, she thought that she, Saria, and all these people would walk with Rhinelab forever. It was an unrealistic notion. When topics like profit, conflict, and misunderstanding piled onto her desk one after the other, she couldn't help but laugh. What exactly was confining mankind? She lifted her head and looked up at the sky. Oh, she lifted her head to look at the sky. I don't know where I saw the and. I think I looked at the at and yeah. Anyway, it was so ugly. Haven't seen this background since Iberia. Yeah. Rest stop, Trimount's outskirts, roughly 18 miles from the city centre. Oh, you! Hi there. 4 large cheese dogs. Extra cheese. You got it. Coming right... Holy shit, bro. What the heck is this thing? Oh, well, yeah, what the heck is this, rather? I caught some kind of disease when I was a kid. It's only because of the exoskeleton that I'm still alive. Sorry for spooking you. Can he actually eat? I just assumed he was full-on robot somehow. Spooking me? Hell no, that looks so cool. Oh, so it's got to do with Tremount's tech companies. No wonder. The gizmos they pump out are evolving so fast. Something like that. My bad. That was probably rude of me, acting so surprised. I'm used to it. Mind if I smoke here? You can still smoke? That's amazing. Phew, so empty here. This road doesn't get much traffic, does it? Just today, when the Vice President came through not too long ago, the traffic jam was miles long. Maybe it's the weather. Here, your hot dog. That's some appetite you've got, bro. Take a seat wherever you want. Not like there's anyone else today. I'm assuming this is like one of those outskirts diners that's like on the side of the road that goes out into the town. There's literally nothing else around. Kind of like the gas station and diner in Legion, if anyone's seen that movie. Thanks. Hot dog. Huh. Colombian fast food really is me. really is really making strides. Really is making strides, I don't know. Well, it's all the same to me. So why are they called hot dogs again? Anything to do with the perils? Oh, hello, Calfit. Damn, I can see now why the event is so long. Oh, it actually has something to do with the... Oh my god. The text is almost coming out of the game. That's not just on the stream end, that is almost spilling out of the game's border. They heard people say that she talks too much and decided, oh, instead of making you click through everything, we'll just make it one long paragraph. Actually, her dialogue isn't that long. Well, I mean, it's... The first line she says the whole paragraph, yeah. It was the first wave of Bolivarian... I need to make sure to say Bolivarian and not Bolivian. Bolivarian settlers who introduced this particular food item to the Colombian masses. This type of sausage sandwich was frequently sold in night competition arenas as food carts attended by scantily clad Pero females or well-built Pero males. Ha. And with the passage of time, this food item came to be known as the hot dog in Colombian parlance. I dread to think about what the taco could be inspired by then. That was god awful. I'm so sorry for saying that. Passage of time, huh? Funny how things can turn out just because of time. Want one, miss? My treat. No, thank you. The years really haven't been kind. When I still had the sense of taste, my appetite was probably a dozen times what it is now. I guess that's how things turn out with the passage of time. I envy a young lady like you. Mate, unless you're like a good few centuries old, I don't think... I feel like she always stays silent whenever someone mentions young. I think there's a pattern there. I wonder how many times on Terra are built... Oh, how many things on Terra are built atop of this passage of time. Everything is. I guess you're right about that. It's been a while, Dame Couchsit. When was the last time we met? Okay, he's calling her Dame as well. Oh, that's probably why he's calling... I forget his... Sarkaz, possibly... I've forgotten the name of them. The... Demonic... Daemon... I don't remember. The day of Teresa's Ascension ceremony, after the war was over. Most Sarkaz who still had a lingering nostalgia. Diablo, there we go, thank you. Still had a lingering nostalgia for Kazdel were there. You were no exception. What should I call you now? Tin Man. That's what my co-workers call me. It's an apt descriptor, and not like the names, names have much meaning to me anymore. You represent the mainland Foundation. I do. A powerful revenant. A once powerful revenant. And besides, you know that the T-Kaz are closely connected to every corner of the world. And the Colombian plains are no exception. Or would it make you feel better if I told you the whispers of hatred still keep me up at night, and that I can't wait to turn into a flying fortress and fly straight back to Kasdel? No. So the Maylander Foundation noticed Rhode Island long ago. This isn't the first time you showed up on Columbia's radar, same thing. Even if the last time was just a minor legal dispute. Was that in Toronto or someplace? I forgot about that thing. I'm just going to call it Toronto. Rhode Island is still a young organization. You know who it belongs to and what course it is taking. I'm not trying to talk you into giving up, but based on our agent's intel, too many old friends are mixed up in this mess. A fair amount of them are your old friends too. I have no issues with Rhode Island getting involved in this, so long as you hear Maylander's thoughts first. Viglio reference. Oh, that was referring to when the doctor, was it? He went to customs and said, oh hey, I've got all this unspecified medical stuff, and got arrested, and it stopped Mama John's from stealing the stuff, because if they then released it, they would be implicated. Still one of the most batshit insane ideas I've seen from the Doctor, and still hilarious. If I'm remembering it correctly. Yes? Yeah, nice, perfect. Is it thoughts you want... Is it thoughts you want Rhode Island to hear or demands? Regardless, personally speaking, I do hope we're on the same side of this time, Dame Coutsit. I understand. Are those girls yours? The Tin Man lifts his head up to gaze at the bottom of the dark clouds. Not far away, a pure white feline and a fire-red Savra sit on a bench. I should probably give the Tin Man a little bit of a deeper voice, try to make him a little bit more film noir-y, but I'm struggling to do it. So at the moment it's sounding more like some sort of... I've forgotten the name of it. What's it called? Chicagoan at the moment. So white cat and red Savra. At first I was thinking... well, I'm assuming... I was thinking it was Montes to begin with. But then I also kind of thought of... for some reason, I think the mention of the red made me think of the two characters in Walking in Dust, the two Rhode Island operators, but I don't think it is. I don't think they were... No, that wasn't the cat. So I'm thinking Rosmontes. I don't know the Savra, though. Red Savra. This might be problematic because I can't think of Savras. That's the problem. Because at the moment, the only thing I can think of in terms of red is just like, just click, oh, shush. I will, I'm just thinking. Anyway. We'll see. The Savra girl enthusiastically tries to tell something to her buddy, but her buddy simply stares at the sky, seemingly paying no attention whatsoever. She is thinking about the past. She seems to know why she received that letter, and why she had to come back to this country. But she actually doesn't understand it all that well. She is simply thinking that there are things you have to face sooner or later. Oh. I forgot. I forgot that was mentioned. Okay. Yeah, Rosmontes I definitely assumed as much, just because pure white, but also makes sense because that arsehole was first looked at. Ifrit, I completely forgot that the race was mentioned in the manga. I forgot about that. Anyway, I should remember this place, but I don't think I wrote it down. Why didn't I write it down? Also, the outfit looks quite cool. Do I need to remember this place? Duh. You don't remember anything, no matter what I ask you. This sucks. Do you remember? Me? Of course I remember. That means no. This is Columbia. I've been here. And I hear you've been here too. And I hear you've been too, rather. Same thing. Almost everyone here is blurry. Why? It might just be the brush strokes, perhaps. Oh, I remember them. I see now. That sounded way too nasally. Ugh. It's a cruel twist of fate, counts it. But you'll have children. Oh, but you'll have children so young-faced. Their fate. Okay, now I see. But you'll have children so young face their fate head on. This is their decision. I have no right to intervene. Calcit silently looks at Tremounts shrouded in dark clouds in the distance. Its tall skyscrapers remain under the thick dark clouds, its base hidden by fields around them. Likewise, the Tin Man lifts his head. Up in the sky above the city, and the entire lands, at an unreachable altitude that mankind has dreamt of reaching for thousands of years. A burning fireball is tearing through the sky, like a falling star. Ifrit, do you want to hear a story? A story? Alright. Today's story takes place in a beautiful city in Sargon. There was once a well-respected king, loved by his people. But when he finally grew old, he had an anxious look on his face, never calming down for even a second. He gave it his all to rule his city, but he found that not one thing in the city would bear his mark forever. His statues would crumble, and his legends would fade. People forget too easily. In the final days of his life, he eagerly hoped for there to be something that could truly symbolize his whole legacy and ensure that it would be told for generations to come. I'm assuming it worked, seeing as we're talking about it. And so, he asked his wife, he hoped to find this treasure with her together. They searched all over the lands and found a bottomless pit of gold, clothing that restored youth, a magic mirror that allowed its users to change races at will. Ah yes, the character creator mirror. A sword that could rend mountains, and a treasure map that led to mythical realms. None of these were what the king wanted. They were all too specific, and the desires they bore were too strong. The king did not think any of these could represent his legacy. This left the queen stricken with grief. She prayed to the night skies that her husband would get his wish. Finally, hearing her faithful prayers, a star arrived in the mortal realm. Ifrit stares blankly at the blazing red tail sweeping through the sky. She suddenly recalls a story out of the thousands that Silence has told her. Legend has it, there is always hope wherever a star so happens to land. The differences that divide mankind are mended the moment the star reaches the ground, and everyone's wishes will be fulfilled all at once. That's a lot of people winning the lottery that day. Will a star come falling down? There's no time to think. Time is flying by. I wish for... End cutscene? There it is. I'm starting to call it now. I'm onto you, Hypergriff. I can tell when you're about to cliffhang. Anyway, dense fog. Does the falling star foretell hope or disaster? Oh, I love this music. Cal didn't talk much, see? I mean, that's somewhat surprising. 1 hour cutscene, we are on track. Yeah, I was warned this would be a long one. Apparently I dropped quite a lot of frames. Huh, don't know when that happened. Is it just me or is my mouth not moving as much as it normally does? I think I must have to go back and change some settings. Oh well. That'll have to be tomorrow's problem. Oh, have fun catching up with daily investigations. Try at best to catch up to stage 3, at least to unlock something. Okay. That might be something I would have to do like off stream and such, you know, just for the sake of... Depends on what it is. I suppose if there's a lot of story stuff, I'll try to read it on the stream. Anyway. But yeah, I'll do my best to try and complete this event as much as possible, at least the story sides of it. Easy map, easy level. Not really gonna pay much attention to it. I'll probably just put La Pluma down. But first, cutscene. What weird looking streetlights. Anyway. Right on time. The Liberi steps out onto the rooftop of a tall tower and looks up at the sky. From this high vantage point, the faint, sharp screech is concealed by the sound of the wind, while the faint spot of light rapidly expands in her eyes. Her thick tail dexterously and rhythmically sweeps back and forth, a graceful measure to which the Liberi can compare the invisible grid of the city beneath her. I'm somewhat curious about the fact that it refers to her as a Liberi. Maybe they just figured it'd be easier for us to read than constantly saying, I don't know, Cthulhu or whatever it was again. Now, let's see. Just where will this star land in Tremont? Districts 2 and 5 are primarily residential. 11's new industrial campus is under construction. That is quite a... It's also funny with... you see where her lips is from the lipstick, but then it extends beyond that, which keeps the snake mouth look that you see in the trailer. I'm assuming this is the same sprites from Dorothy's Vision as well, but you know, point being, it does make it look quite creepy as well. Let's hope it won't be central. That place is packed with office buildings like the dime a dozen canned fins you see in the supermarket. And it's a work day. Those offices are gonna be full of people. Don't make the joke, Karma. Don't make the joke, Karma. Don't make the joke, Karma. I know it's Colombia. I know it's America. Just don't make the joke. Don't make the joke. Well, you really figured out where to land this experiment of yours. Or maybe you just never cared how much of a racket this might cause. It's just that you get 2 missions a day to do, and it gives you increasingly better rewards, but as you are a few days behind, it will be a bit harder to do. Okay. Right then. Like I said, I'll try my best to complete all the story stuff as much as I can. Either way, you planned this far ahead. Things are getting more and more interesting, Kristen. Confirmed. The Triton Factory in District 13. The Liberi leaps from the tall tower. Like, huh? Oh, that was a yawn. Okay. That's a big yawn. Didn't sleep well? Is this how a Rhine Lab director welcomes a guest? Tremont hotels really care about guest privacy, huh? Okay, yeah, let's go with the sarcasm. I wanted to see you. That's why I'm here. You saved me from the power armor, and I brought you breakfast. Fair's fair, right? That's the breakfast combo from the cafe at Rhine Lab HQ. They only sell 100 of those a day. What is it with these places, these like restaurants and shops and stuff, only selling a limited amount of food items? Like, that is really weird to me. Okay, don't give me that look. You're a grumpy Gus in the morning, huh? Yes, I am. It's Saria you want to see, right? Well, I haven't been able to contact her, but if she isn't here, then coming to you won't help. Anyway, take a look at this. It's just in. Tri-Mountains, there we go. I nearly said Tri-Mountains. I suppose you could technically say that. An explosion occurred this morning at the Triton Chemical Plant, number 3 in District 13. The specific cause of the explosion is still unknown. Surely people would have seen a fucking meteorite hit. But the authorities' preliminary conclusion is that laboratory staff made a fatal error leading to the construction machinery on site exploding. Ah yes, swamp gas. A large stockpile of catalysts and reagents are stored at Triton Chemical Plant number 3, and to keep the chemicals from leaking out and causing more catastrophic damage, the military and government authorities are currently cleaning up the site. As of right now, all of District 13 is under temporary lockdown. Entry and exit from the district is being heavily restricted. Citizens are asked to cooperate with the ongoing work there. The government has not responded to requests for comment, and it is not known at this time whether the lockdown on District 13 will affect Vice President Jackson's time in Tremont. Is this another side 351? Does this have anything to do with Rylam 2? This one. I don't know the specifics, but if you, or should I say Rhode Island, are here, considering how much Saria trusts you, there's no way you could ignore big news like this. Okay, Doctor. You've got some new visitors. I'll see you very soon. I liked that effect. So, that was a clone after all. New visitors? Yeah, I had to do that one. Hey! Rise and shine, Doctor, you big dumbass. Oh, Ifrit. Rise and shine. Ifrit, who brought you here? Oh god, it's the ex-wife meeting with the kids. I just realised. Okay. Long time no see, Doctor. Tolopsis has already returned to the landship with Elena for checkup and treatment. Mechanist is currently on a new mission. Oh, speaking of which, I'm glad I actually got to see Mechanist now. I saw him in when I was reading up on Dorothy's vision. Is he a giraffe? Because it kind of looks like giraffe things. I'm not entirely sure about how that... But yeah, this is definitely the ex-wife coming and handing the kids over. It seems like it's my weekend. From here on, I'll be accompanying you. Oh, never mind, she's here to stay. And me! And also... I'll sit explain... I think it'll be nicer to acknowledge Montes, not just go, Calcit, explain. The floaty feline girl apparently entered the room at some point. She stands next to the window and listens quietly to your conversation. She gazes at you and your room. Behind her, there are pure white clouds floating gently across the clear Tramontane sky. Don't be mad, Doctor. I asked Dr. Calcit to bring me along. I was invited by someone. I will explain more about what's going on later. Seeing as you have the TV on, it seems you already know about District 13. Also, I find it interesting that District 13 is the one that got blown up. Considering that wouldn't be the first time a District 13 has been blown up in a story. The explosion wasn't caused by some careless lab technician. Something fell from the sky. We need to get to the bottom of this. Yes, Sari has already gone to investigate. As for you, I need you to get out of bed and wash up. Okay, to be fair, I'm glad that Mumu woke us up. Could you imagine, like, you're just in bed and you wake up and it's just a disgusted Calcit face from the anime staring down at you, like, pathetic. Like, that's kind of what would have happened if Mumu hadn't woken us up first. Maybe that's why they named it 13 in the first place. Possibly. Isn't 13 supposed to be an unlucky number? That is also true. I wonder who that could be in between these two random people. It's like the spot the main protagonist in an anime. You've got all the bunch of normal looking designs, and then you've just got, you can't quite make them out, but they've got quite a fancy look. Anyway. I live here. Who the hell are you to stop me from going home? Who's that operator? It's Pikachu! It's silence! Fuck! Anyway. Sorry, I had to. What gives you the right to lock the place down anyway? Is this even legal? Do you have anything in writing? I'm supposed to take your word that this is an emergency? I'll be out in 10 minutes. I just need to head back for some documents. Our clients are waiting in the conference room. I like how most character know what the Doctor looks like without the hood on, except, you know, the players who technically play as him, yeah. Also, seriously guys, what is his armor? It literally looks like old sci-fi shows where you just had to slap on any kind of plastic that remotely had rivets in it. It's just... It's also weird though, because like the helmet looks quite fancy. Everything else is It does remind me of like the old Doctor Who as well, where basically BBC goes to the art department and it's like, so you know how like futuristic and everything things are supposed to look, yeah? Well, we've got £10 and a pack of bubble wrap. Can you do it? It's, yeah, sure. Let's go with it. Sorry, but I need to see your clearance. Citizen? Question mark? I wonder. Oh, hello. Interesting. I was going to watch Saria to see what she's up to. I never expected to find this little bird making her way here. Right. That's the little researcher from the Diabolic Crisis. Or Diabolic Crisis. Yep. Scouting the area with a drone from a dead angle while hiding in a crowd, waiting for an opportunity. Not bad. But the army has soldiers watching every single alley. It won't be so easy for you to break through their checkpoints. That said, I haven't the slightest idea what you can do, but you might just be able to give these baddies a little trouble, so I'll give you a hand. What are you babbling about? They really just said, what is blood waffling on about? Nothing. The package is recovered. I'll be delivering. It will be delivered right away. Oh, hi, the woman who's been dodging my paws. Both of them have been dodging my paws like Calcit in the anime so far. Just like, just as cleanly, just avoiding it all with like a stone-faced expression. Like, let me pull you! Ah, okay. As you've no doubt heard on the news, it's just one factory that had an accident. Why is the entire district on lockdown? If you guys are actually worried about the chemicals, why aren't you wearing protective equipment? Why are you people still allowed to come and go? No one is buying your beast shit. Also, you know what? They make a good point. The Colombian government isn't exactly that smart. I never thought I'd say it, but it sounds like the real-life counterpart is smarter at hiding its bullshit than they are. This is about the whole industrial campus This is about the whole industrial campus upgrade project. If it falls through, who's gonna pay? Hurry up and let me by. No pushing. Oh, and there comes them. My arm. Why can't I move? Somebody break through the cordon. How come the comms aren't working either? Damn, Hole is doing work. Also, hello, Ezra. Your clearance, Miss Saria? Also, I must admit, I haven't actually seen Saria at all besides the comic. So I'm actually kind of... Wow, she looks quite good. Another skin. Oh, okay, so this is a event-specific design, I'm guessing. Seriously, why aren't these outfits for these character skins yet? Ah. You know me. Former Defense Director of Rhine Lab, your reputation precedes you here in Tromance. So I can't enter District 13? Not just you. If you don't have clearance, please leave. Oh, hello. You! Relax. Stow your weapons. Your face, your hands, you... It's the same all over. I may look scary, but it's just an exoskeleton. I work for the Maylander Historical Association, currently part of the Vice President's entourage and his security. Here's my authorization. Miss Saria here is the subject matter expert we've invited along. Maylander, huh? You people are always so strange. Go talk to your superiors. We want to get a better grasp of the situation. Give me a minute. Looking at your attire, it seems you don't plan on bringing your shield along. Guard Saria. No, I just determined that I might need to apply full force to whatever is coming next. Full force, huh? That phrase carries a weight far heavier than usual coming from the former director of Rhinelab Defense Section. Don't give them all ideas. Seems like I did make it in time. Our last meeting must have been at Hayden Pharmaceuticals, Detective. I mean, technically not at Hayden Pharmaceuticals, but close enough. We talked so much, I forgot to slide you and Muesli a free pint of draft beer on your last visit. I know just how powerful the Maylander Foundation is, but I was still surprised when I heard of the news from Calcit. How do you two know each other? Oh, that's a long story. We're just old friends. So, what role is Maylander Foundation playing in our current situation? Saria, are you interested in politics? Decidedly not. So do I really need to answer that question? The Colonel is en route to his meeting with the Vice President. Your identities have been verified and the Colonel has authorized your entry to District 13. But we are conducting an emergency investigation to evaluate the hazard posed by the chemical leaks, so you won't be allowed near Triton Chemical Plant number 3. That's where this all went down. We'll also arrange an escort party to go with you, to provide any necessary help. No problem. We will go with your arrangements. Yeah, I've sort of I've sort of reached the same point of view, Dead Gamers. Whew, made it in. Next, I keep 2 drones up in the air, 100 meters apart, to survey the situation. The Triton Factory should be up ahead. I hope the stealth combat tactics I learned at Rhode Island will come in handy here. Let's take it slow, and preferably not get yeeted into more walls. I'm sure your back must be aching for all the times it's happened. Will I really find any leads on the transmitter here? Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay. I was going to say, bloody hell, that room is white, but no, it's just black and white. Okay, so this is from Dorothy's. Oh, yeah, of course. Dorothy's literally standing right in front of me. Of course it is. I will say one thing. I have no idea what these rods are. But whenever I look at it, I just think of, you know, nuclear reactor rods. A little bit more densely compact than they should be, but that's kind of what they remind me of. A batch of transmitter... Oh, a batch of transmitter has gone missing? That's right. To be more precise, it was a batch of experimental materials that said transmitter included that was supposed to be shipped together to HQ for disposal. So someone stole it. I think the rods are the part of the main control for the transmitter. Yeah, that probably makes more sense. And it's very likely to be someone within Rhine Lab, not Wine Lab. Wine Lab is somewhere I wouldn't mind working at. Silence, I'd like you to head to Tremouth and help me investigate this. Me? I need to remain at Site 359 to cooperate with the military investigation, so I'll be stuck here for the time being. A wine lab run by a certain noble, yeah. Are you going to negotiate with them? Don't worry, as much as I don't enjoy this stuff, I'm still capable of it. I'm a Rhine Lab director after all. I'm more worried about this batch of missing transmitter becoming the catalyst of someone else's ambition. Is transmitter the name of the silver liquid? I can't really remember. I can't remember if it was given a name or not. Yes, okay, good. Because my brain, every single time I see the word, my brain is trying to tell me to say a transmitter instead. And it's like, no, no, no. They're clearly referring to it as a name, not as an item. Yeah, okay, that makes sense then. So, can you do it? Well... Silence, you're a student of Director Parvis, don't say his name. And yet, you showed up here at Site 359. I had some doubts, but I get it now. But now I get it. Same thing. You came here to ask for my help. Or maybe you wanted to know if the director of Virginium Art is trustworthy. I'm sorry. No need for apologies. I did come close to doing something awful. I should be thanking you, Silence. But at the same time, this is why I'm asking for your help. You are beholden only to your own standards, and looking for your own answers. I will say, the sort of like simulated worlds that she put people in did kind of remind me of the video game Soma. But, even if I hadn't asked you, you still would have returned to Tremouth, right? Yes. Oh, she pouted at that one. Uh-oh. Oh no, why are there suddenly a lot more men on patrol? Shit. Find anything over there? I searched a couple of alleyways over on this side. Nothing. The Colonel's about to meet the Vice President, so we had to play nice and let those two in. We were supposed to stick close to them. How did they lose us so quickly? Damn, that didn't take long at all. How do you lose someone like a... How do you lose a Voiver and a man made of metal? And this is why you do not lower recruitment standards. Anyway. They were walking so leisurely the whole time. Then they vanished behind a fence when I blinked. We really underestimated that fella and all covered in iron. Mainlanders people are always so tricky. I'll go report the situation to the brass. Take the boys with you and continue the search. Right. Send more hands over to the factory too. Well, given their constitution, they might just make their own door. Your reflexes and stealth skills are admirable, Mr. Detective. Anyway. You flatter me. Even if we could manage them, it's better to shake them off our tail than to outright knock these sycophants out. We're here. Triton Chemical Plant number 3 is right up the front. Industrial. They've already cordoned off the perimeter and deployed heavy armed soldiers at every possible location. Quite the impossible task to get any closer. We're close enough for a clear view. Saria's gaze travels over the throng of people and past the striking yellow barriers, landing on the factory behind. The once smooth factory building has now been demolished beyond recognition, with scorch marks scrawled by heaps of debris scattered all over. A series of explosions have eroded the facade, leaving only the interior foundations that give her a clear view. In the centre of the factory lies a huge ring-like mechanical structure, diagonally embedded into the ground like an outrageous art installation. Why did that immediately make me think of the Law? Because that's also a ring shape. The source of the explosion. What have you found? Neither the shape nor the mechanical structure of the object hints at its purpose, but it's clearly a device not meant to be used on land. It fell from the sky. We're too far away to discern any concrete details. But what I can confirm at the very least is this thing has the mark of Rhine technology. To be precise, it has Kristen's handwriting all over it, I'm sure of that. It'd be funny if it's like a prototype of whatever that ship thing is that we see in some of the trailers. Horizon Arc Project. What? I'm surprised you've not heard of the name, given your position at Rhine and your relationship with Kristen. I'm glad I didn't get spotted. Don't say that. Soldier, immediately. Hey, you. Oh, you. There really was one here. It's a T-1000. That is literally the only thing I can think of when I see those things. I think of like the T-1000 and that. It's gone. Ah, fucking bright. Okay. Dorothy was right. Transmitters react to each other, and it wasn't too difficult to catch them with the one she gave me. There we go. But there's too few of them. Dorothy said there were more. Could they be nearby? Wait. This is the Triton Factory. A colossal ruin lies before her. Just how many injuries or casualties happened in here? Silence recalls the news not mentioning any numbers relevant to that question. She recalls the destruction at Site 359. It was difficult for her to even picture what it looks like before the ruins. Is that Saria? Who is that with her? Saria, do you have something to do with this too? Okay, so I guess they still haven't reconciled anything. Do you know where we're going? We're heading to Saria's stronghold in Tront as part of our arrangement with her. Saria! It's been ages since I saw her. But if you need to talk to Saria, you two are going to be busy, right? I guess she won't have time to talk to me. Going by the civilian's comment, it was a chemical plant that got kaboomed so much. For actual safety risks, all chemicals vaporized, burned up. So, no. If a chemical plant explodes, you have to cordon off the entire area, wear protective gear, because yes, fire can burn some chemicals, but not all, and the explosion will disperse the chemicals. So, for example, in Ukraine not too long ago, a nitric acid plant, I think, or containers holding nitric acid exploded, and that had the gas all over the area, so you had to get everything around. So technically, all there are bad for their health. Yes. So it would be... that's the thing. So that's kind of something I'm quite curious about, because obviously it wasn't a chemical explosion. It was something landing on it. But if it was a chemical plant or chemical factory anyway, why aren't they wearing protection? They should be. Huh. That's actually a good point. Weird. But if you need to talk to Sarah... oh yeah, I read this bit. You and Rosmontis will stay with the doctor. Ifrit, where were you just now? Ifrit, tell me more about what you did on the way here. Yeah. Oh, right. When the star came falling down, I was telling Rosmontis a story that Silas told me before. You still remember it, right? You weren't writing any of it down. Yep, I still remember. They don't care about grants only results, remember? I mean, true. That night, it seems the entire city heard the Queen's prayers, and the sound of her tears splotching onto the sand. In the end, the Queen passed out in the high tower of the palace. The Queen's faithfulness reached the hearts of the stars. One after another, they soared through the sky and came before the old king. The old king was swallowed by the endless surge of brightness. Within it, he saw a sight that he had never seen nor dreamed in his entire life. The next morning, the Queen awoke to find a huge hole had appeared on the palace's roof, and the old king, who had passed away hours ago, stood with a smile still lingering on his now stiffened lips. Were the stars brought here by her prayers? The stars made her wish come true, and they took her lover with them. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I forgot there was a stage here. So much for careful what you wish for. Yeah, that was kind of a bit of a monkey's paw there.
Contempt for the law is a crime. The words of my codex will prove their own worth.
Ah! Nah, I'll do it here. Reminds you of the street. Oh, why did I do it there? I thought there was a block there. Oh, I should have paid attention. Oh well.
Forwards.
Damn it. Okay, now I'll put that down. That was dumb of me.
At your service. Attack!
Oh, there's them. Oh, well, that was useful. I need to put that there.
Fear not! Here I come!
Anyone else I need to do? Oh, I could do a Mizuki. Actually, I might do that.
At your service. Speeding up!
Good enough. Am I gonna bother with a healer? Nah. Might want to read the new Mook gimmick. Yeah.
Awaiting your old poison kiss.
Hasn't got to it yet. Oh, okay. I assumed one of these were the Mooks. Which one do I have? Oh, I have that.
Guys, relax. It'll be over in an instant.
Okay. Also, fun fact, the dog Mook you see is the same breed of terrier that was sent to space. Oh, okay. Also, I will say, this bloke, the Colonel, despite being Colonel, he seems like the typical mercenary contractor that you see in a lot of shows and that. Also, what the fuck is that bird? For a moment, I thought the bird had more medals than he did. Oh, so that's the Vice President, anyway. I mean, oh, okay, so the Vice President was a veteran, I suppose. And keeping up with typical Colombian politics, he is old as shit. Because, of course... Colonel, sorry to keep you waiting for half an hour. For a half hour, that's the same thing. I'm the one who should apologise, Mr. Vice President. Your schedule in Tremont is packed, and I've heard... Oh, and I heard a secretary... And I heard from Secretary Pavard you had to cancel a meeting on account of my sudden visit. The military's response to District 13 incident has been quick. It has also been intense. You had just given such a powerful, rousing speech for the masses. This couldn't have happened at a worse time. By the looks of things, this is more than a little accident on your end as well. I'm just saying, it's still too soon to reveal the Horizon Arc project to the public. Which is why we would like you to cancel the rest of your itinerary and leave Tremont. And we'll take care of those accidents as soon as we can. Colonel, I understand what you're asking. But my schedule isn't going to change. In fact, I'm going to extend my stay in Tremont. In my last meeting, I decided I'm going to Rhine Lab to enjoy a fruitful dialogue with our exceptional researchers. Oh, that's the open mouth. We're one Columbia, Colonel Blake, and we're all ready to give everything to our country, for our country. But with all the technological pioneers gathered in this city, they form the bedrock of Columbia's technological development. It's no exaggeration to say they're shaping the future of our country. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Even on the assembly lines of our nation's most developed munitions plants, it takes a day and a half to produce a single shell to spec. And that doesn't include the time it takes to send it out into the field to give the men some real practical time on the thing. There we go. Take a step back, Colonel. The more we find ourselves facing super weapons that can change the world, like that Arc 1, the more composed we have to be. This is Colombia, not Sargon, not Bolivar. This is Colombia. Sorry, I just immediately thought of that rap song. These past few years, the armed forces, or more accurately the Department of Defense, has continued to explore the nation's military capabilities. That's right, he was investigating the Department of Defense in the manga. As a whole, progress has been fairly steady. From the President's perspective, this is a good thing, and he's glad to see it happen. However, given the shifts in international dynamics in recent years, particularly the re-emergence of Victoria's Shard, a number of things have changed. Re-emergence? It was being developed in Chapter 11. Okay, interesting. Such a terrifying superweapon has erased the concept of distance. All our ground defences will be rendered useless, and the dust brought about by the storm may well fall upon our pillows at any time. The voices within the Department of Defense have grown increasingly hawkish, and a number of troubling signs have already appeared. They're hedging their bets on the research and development of similar area-defining strategic weapons. And that's how Kristen caught the military's eye. Correct. Kristen has been the military's core technical advisor. In a very short period of time, she submitted a proposal for the Horizon Arc project, a plan to the construction of the Arc-1 superweapon, and quickly began its implementation. The military has devoted a vast amount of resources to it, and as such, Rhinelab has enjoyed greater policy side support for quite some time now. This is why Ryan has been able to stand head and shoulder above many other tech companies in Tremounts. According to the information we have on hand, the construction of Arc-01 required digging complex shaft, and as well as erecting a hammer at our aircraft's altitude limit. A monumental project indeed, and the military has spared no expense in the effort. I imagine the man in front of you fell from the. I imagine the man in front of you who fell from the sky was part of this project. They knew. Saria's eyes shift on the factory ruins to the sky above her. Using the sky as an intermediate transfer node. We don't know the specific conceptual design or how it's implemented. Using the sky as a transfer node to focus or redirect an enormous amount of energy so as to achieve a powerful strike over extreme distance. In theory, that is indeed impossible. Possible, rather. But would Kristen really help the military construct a superweapon? Sounds like the shard was complete, then deactivated, apparently. Yeah, but then re-emergence implies that it was then reactivated, which is interesting. Isn't the Burj Khalifa the tallest building in the world? I think so. There might be a building that overtook it as the tallest building in the world, but I think it's in the same country and city. But I can't quite remember. Or maybe it's the Burj Khalifa that overtook a building, and that building happened to be in the same country and city. That might be what it was. It looks like you got the answer you wanted. I knew from the beginning. This just makes it more apparent. A good politician would never rush to make his stance clear. At least for now, they don't want us taking over the project that fast. And how do they intend to do that? It's simple. All they need to do is delay. And if we say that efficiency is the pursuit of scientific research, then, Ferdinand, delay is the preferred tool of these politicians. This is supposed to be an actual colonel, but again, he still seems more like a paid, private military person instead. But anyway. When the Singers and administration first entered negotiations in Congress to reclaim the Woods company's logging camp, there we go, virtually no progress was made in 3 years. It took the latter party losing control of the area. Oh, this really is just American politics then. I wonder if there's only 2 parties in this country as well. They want to delay until we have our hands full, until we lose faith in that damned Horizon Arc project, until it doesn't matter anymore. You've already been on site, right? What's your conclusion? It was indeed the test flight of Arc-1's hammer. The sky appears clear, but it is far from being a safe haven. Kristen will need to test the new pressure and navigation system, a trial and error process that may need more than one flight. That's expensive. I'm more curious about the military-controlled shaft, at the bottom of Arc 1. Where did Kristen launch a beast of that size? The hammer's black box still hasn't been found? By tracing its routing data, we can triangulate the position of the launch site and location. And locate Kristen. There we go. Hello, thank you for subscribing, Nebulous. We already conducted a full-scale search of District 13. Came up empty. Someone managed to retrieve the black box at the very beginning. Any possibility it might have been destroyed, given an explosion of that scope? Nope. Kristen had already been missing for 2 weeks. She may have already obtained the experimental data she wanted in the black box, but she still doesn't want us to find her. In other words, the so-called Horizon Arc project, propped up by the military itself, is completely out of the military's hands. To be fair, that's also very American. The longer the delay, the more variables there will be. I know. It's me. That's right. Jackson has no intention of talking things through with us. Me? Why would I have anything to hide? Go ask the agent sent to spy on Kristen. Understood. I won't give an inch. I'll resolve the situation post-haste. Wait, what did you say? That's... Alright, I understand. You don't look so good, Colonel. You're right, Ferdinand. We can't let ourselves get bogged down any longer. Uh-oh. The fact that Kristen went AWOL while the military had eyes on her precisely shows that the project has progressed to a near-feasible state. She might have defrauded her investors. We have our suspicions as well, but you seem pretty sure of it, Saria. Because I know her well enough. Oh. Since its establishment, Rhinelab has been committed to breakthrough research in civilian technology, and rarely intersects with the military. Kristen herself has no interest in it. Furthermore, if the sky were part of her research plans, it would not be a means, but rather her ultimate objective. The rights? Precisely. We haven't even explored everything these lands have to offer, and have only just begun measuring the heights of the skies. Why fly to such places in vain? High places. I still remember that comment in the newspaper made by the hovercraft expert. Well, I see why they won't care about going any higher, because they don't want people to buy things that go higher than the hovercrafts. Their hovercraft expert Stevenson after the Wright's test flight crashed. It encapsulated his regret for the death of the genius scientists, but has been twisted out of context as accurate peer review. How ironic that it's become a weapon used against the Wrights. I'd like to hear more. Stevenson had a very good relationship with the Wrights, and even looked after Kristen for to some degree after their passing. Later, Kristen was able to get on track in academia thanks to his recommendation. A substantial secret that even I'm not aware of. But the relationship between Stevenson and Kristen is not a cozy one. She inherited her parents' obsession with the skies, and does not expect others to understand. She abhors the sky, Tin Man. This does seem like her, it seems like Kristen sort of has a, Captain Ishmael and Moby Dick sort of thing. Like, that needs to get the objective done, even if it goes badly for her. Or at least in terms of the obsessive side of it. It can be a coincidence that transmitter appeared in the scene of the accident. But what exactly is the connection between transmitter and the explosion? Did the things used in the factory require transmitters? I recall no such relationship between Triton Chemicals and Rhine Lab. Or perhaps the transmitter had something to do with the ring-shaped mechanical object that smashed through the building. Sari is too far away. I can't hear what she's saying. Maybe I can try moving a drone a bit closer. Oops. Uh-oh. God damn it, silence. An unidentified drone has been shot down. Oh no. Miss, show me your security clearance. Don't have one? District 13 is under temporary lockdown. I'm gonna have to ask you to come with me. I'm a worker at Triton Factory. I had the day off today, but I heard the factory exploded. So I came here to see what's going on. If you're a worker at the factory, then explain the drone, and don't say you have nothing to do with it. She's going to photograph the site. Whomst? Marianne? Oh god, okay, someone famous, I guess. Is it really you? Oh my god. Marianne. The last time I heard that name was 40 years. Oh, okay. You're talking about the press conference, right? It was right around the time your last movie came out. You told the world you got hurt in a catastrophe while shooting the thing, and you retired to become behind the scenes work. Oh, okay. My dad goes nuts every time he talks about you. He's got your complete filmography collection, and we've watched every movie 10 times over. I still remember The Spy Catchers. Isn't that an actual title? You caught Saw the Spy on the shore and leapt straight off the cruise ship. That was something. You just melt into every role you play. Today's mass-produced Rankwood, I read that as something completely different. Today's mass-produced Rankwood stars could take a cue or two from you. Thanks. Unfortunately, the only role Marianne plays these days is a negotiator of employee salaries. Ah, you're a union rep. Oh, well, that's good. You're Director of Human Resources at Rhine Lab. Oh, okay, maybe not. Probably worse than that. Director of Human Resources at Rhine Lab, Jara Booker Wilson. This is my clearance. I have a house in District 13. This woman is indeed a Triton employee. Rhine Lab and Triton Chemicals had a number of disagreements, just like the corporate struggles in The Spy Catcher. I know, that's Triments after all. A subsidiary factory suddenly went up in flames. If photographs from the scene hit the tabloids, that would send Triton down in scandal. This is her housewarming gift for joining Rhine. That would indeed be a violation of military regulations. Fortunately, the drone's been shot down, so the photos won't leak. Now then, let's move on and discuss your job hopping. Sure. But let me add something first. it isn't unreasonable to suddenly ask the locals to lock themselves in. Oh, isn't it a little unreasonable to ask the locals to lock themselves inside and wait for updates before they can do anything? We're just following orders. Miss Marianne, I want to trust you, so both of you, please, leave. No exceptions. Like, oh, sorry, honey, a catastrophe had me held up. What's for dinner? Honestly, to be fair, I mean, I suppose if something's so frequent, it would be normal. I mean, imagine if hurricanes were more frequent than the yearly thing, like they were like every other week. You would just sort of like, okay, let's just get back at it. But I mean, even then, technically speaking, in hurricane areas, in earthquake areas, they are built up to weather the storm and weather the disasters as normal. Like places where they have I don't think they're that common. Yeah, I know, I was exaggerating a little bit, but the point still stands. Like when they're a regular occurrence, maybe not common, but like, you know, they're frequent enough, you get used to it. They're the thing that you deal with. The difference is, in our world, it's not random. Hurricanes happen in specific areas, earthquakes happen in specific areas. Those areas are built up for it, and you see them, you see massive earthquakes happen and the towers don't even budge because they're built to withstand it. Technically speaking, Terra's done the same thing, though they've made it so that they move around because the disasters happen anywhere. So to them, it basically is just sort of like, you know, just a very bad case of weather that particular day. Anyway, your name's Silence, right? I remember you were helping Parvis bring me some black bean tea. Black bean tea a thing? Director Jara, does this have something to do with Rhine Lab? That's right, you snuck in here. There are some things I need to make sure of. This isn't exactly the best place for chit-chat. Wait, so black bean tea is a thing? I mean, I know of black bean, but I know of it as like a sauce. Yeah, anyway, this isn't exactly the best place for chit-chat. Head over here and wait for me. Where are we? Don't worry, it's my District 13 residence. What about you? I have company. An old friend has some business with me. Watch that beak, house it. Okay, so it is a thing. I don't think I've ever heard you breathing. When you smoke, are you just letting it swirl around your stomach? Okay, there we go. It's a habit. Just like what you used to do after finishing a mission. You'd record the event on a note before burning it on the spot. That young researcher back there. You always have a soft spot for the youth. I can't exactly ignore it, can I? An employee of my own company shows up in a military lockdown. It'd be bad for the business if she gets caught. It'd be bad for the business, I suppose. I see, you're just as attentive to detail as ever, regardless of what the field you're in. You've caught my eye a number of times over the years. From the intermediary investor for all of Tremont to the head of Rhine HR. You've contributed pretty much your entire network to this tech company. In other words, without you, we wouldn't have the Kristen we know today. So, is you being here right now also the fault of that reckless girl? Or did you have ideas of your own? Have you considered the possibility that I'm here because I bought a residence in District 13, and that I spend a few days here when I'm not too busy? I'm getting old, Tin Man. Age notwithstanding, when I come back to my senses, I realise that my health, my dreams, my friends, and my family have all been given to my country. In the end, nothing remained of Maylander's Morning Star. I don't even have any tapes of the movies I made when I was young, by which to remember my so-called youth. I wasn't trying to point a finger at you, Jara. But if you're hoping that I turn a blind eye to this, I'm afraid I can't help you. Maylander's only responsibility is to the country. I just wanted to tell you that I have no regrets. So even now, I won't do anything that would truly harm Columbia. Are you still mourning the death of the Wrights? As much as I like to deny it, the scene still haunts my dreams even now. Interesting. Oh god, there's still more. This is a car park. Delivery. Come sign for it. Put it on the workstation. Paul scans the space in front of her. A massive, hollow underground, ring-shaped structure. In other words, a well. An old well, perhaps? Also, now that I've said that, it also reminds me of the place in Interstellar. The building where the daughter was working in with the scientist. Originium lamps fastened to the well's walls provide only a basic lighting, making it difficult to determine the overall depth inlaid within the grooves running along the walls. Oh, sorry, that's a new sentence. Inlaid within the grooves running along the walls are cables extending into the darkness. Yeah, the lack of guardrails is a little bit concerning. The person with whom she was speaking earlier is now pacing back and forth, leaving her with but a busy silhouette. She seems to be busy testing something. Even in such a deep area, her actions do not seem to cause much of an echo. Presumably, the surface structure incorporates some high-performance sound-absorbing materials. The entire area seems to be as still and silent as lingering mist. Are you not afraid of the dark? Do you not get bored? We're several hundred meters underground, and those boorish soldiers are patrolling just above us. It also reminds me of the District 13 in the other media that also happened to have a District 13 that blows up. You've been here a number of months, right? Haven't you gone for a walk? Nasty. Hello. I'm busy, Kokulan. There we go. That's... No, there was a K there. There was a third K, and I missed it. Oh well. I don't have much free time in my hands either. What I'm saying is, put the black box down and get lost. I'm taking a risk here to get this to you under the watchful eyes of the military in Maylander. That's a bit cold of you, wouldn't you agree? This is a deal between you and Control, or a deal with Control. It's got nothing to do with me. You didn't do anything with the black box after you got your hands on it, did you? No. Damn, ice cold. The data calculations are, well, not that complicated. Nasty dives back into her own work, and the screen is once again engulfed with a large amount of data, like a tide flooding across the land. She focuses up more, leaving Hole alone to do little else than stare at her back, rather. That is when she notices the devices around her waist. They appear as a lattice of dead branches, spliced together irregularly. But as Nasty intermittently works at her station, they sway back and forth in a short, regular rhythm. As if sentiment, they seem to be following Nasty's thoughts. It looks like you managed to find nourishment for the rootless branches. The trajectory data has deviated slightly from the previous calculation, but it's still within the expected range. It appears that transmitter can indeed be used as an alternative navigation resource. Oh? That being the case, we need to speed things up. By the way, how did Kristen get you, the head of engineering, to willingly coop yourself up underground to do the hard work for her? It'd be funny if later in the future, like, you know, maybe like the next arc or something, transmitter ends up being another farmable resource. I assume probably not, because I'm guessing it's something that has to be manufactured, but still. Nasty doesn't answer. She enters a few commands, and as the screens in front of her go dark one by one, she turns her head towards the door. Behind her, the underground space becomes dimmer and dimmer. Come on, Hypergriff. You knew what you were doing there. You knew what you're doing when you wrote that. Ready to touch some grass, Nasty? Did something good happen? Surely you're not going to keep the good news from me. Be gone, thought. She shook. Huh. Holt takes a step back upon hearing that one word. Her body instinctively carries out the order as if executing a command. Interesting. Oh. Oh. For the Banshee. Oh, so they have... Okay, I forgot. Vocal arts, I guess? That's interesting. So is that something that Banshees do naturally, perhaps? They can make... Well, maybe not make you do things, but close enough, perhaps? Interesting. Cute curse you have there, Banshee. Did any of the staff ever tell you got bad temper? The icy cold air caresses Nasty's neck before dissipating like an illusion. The young Banshee shivers slightly. A crack forms across the bone pen in her hand. I remember that Sarkaz feared Council would curse him, but just by... Yeah, that is true. Oh yeah, I remember that now, because... That was in Walking Dust, wasn't it? Oh my. They don't quite make them like they used to, do they? I know you have an entire drawer filled with spares. But I've always been curious, if you broke all your bone pens, would you still be able to perform your little tricks? Go ahead and try me. I won't give the same command twice. Fine, fine. Or are all Banshees as much of a stick in the mud as you? Don't pass up on this rare opportunity to get some fresh air. If you're afraid of the dark, I don't mind keeping you company part way. Before the Banshee can speak again, Hole nimbly disappears behind the door. The darkness lingering within the air trembles violently for a spell. Then, Nasty finally lets go of her words. Ugh. I should go pick her up. At least the muddled dream is about to settle. Well, that was 2.5 hours, and we've done a cutscene and a stage. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is going to be quite a ride, isn't it? How many stages are there? How many stages are there? Okay, so it's silence that we get. I think I've already got 10. Okay, that's not too bad. 10 with several lore-only stages. Right, that's a little bit better. Personally, it took me days to read the story. Yeah, I'm going to have to try and get through this I'm gonna have to do loads of streams this week. Okay. Without a trace, fickle hints come and go, as does the path ahead. They really like to do this single choke point at the moment. I think I can manage one more. The sky with the weird-looking clouds. These stars have twinkled above Terra since ancient times. Just how many romantic myths and searching gazes do they hold? If I remember correctly, something about it makes it difficult to use those stars to navigate. I think Irene mentioned it to... What was his name? I forgot his name now. Geordie. Astrologers spend their lives assigning symbols to constellations and celestial bodies to give them meaning, while shamans and druids try to interpret the trails left by every passing meteor. By the way, did you buy Geordie's skin? I didn't know he had a skin. Well, that's the answer there. That would definitely be a no. But also, to be fair, I don't have Geordie, so even if I saw it, I probably wouldn't have bought it. They are untouchable. Wait, isn't Geordie? Yeah, Geordie's I can't remember the operator name. That's why I keep calling him Geordie. Geordie is free in Sortifera Navis. Okay, yeah, that's true. Yes, once Sortifera Navis comes around, I'll have him. So yeah, I guess I'll get the Lumen. Thank you. It's weird. I can only remember him as Geordie because of the playing the event. They are untouchable indeed. Indeed, it is precisely because of this that the sky has become the true home of those who indulge in fantasy. You should really check the skins store. The skins this time are so good. Yeah, I'll have to do that. I know there's some skins that I saw, but I haven't seen all of them yet. And for this great land, looking up holds no meaning. (6,152.31 meters), the height of Terra's sky. And also, the last record of the Wright's final flight. Let me just double check something real quick. I just want to look. How high is the sky? That didn't really help. Oh. Interesting. The highest clouds on Earth are 12 kilometers high, which would be 12,000 meters. So, Terra's sky is quite a bit shorter. Unless I read it wrong and it was kilometers and not meters. No, it is meters. Okay. And also, yeah, I read a bit. Carver Googling how high I was just interested because when I looked at that, I did think, no, that sounds quite short. I'm fairly certain some of the things that we have are taller than that. Anyway. No one has questioned this limit. Nobody is angry, confused, or curious about it. What is... No, not Evan Peters, Everest. Anyway, people live on this pea wrapped so softly in its pod and couldn't care any less. Oh, thanks for the chat. I was literally trying to Google how tall Everest was while doing that. Thank you, Samantha. Mount Everest is already 8 kilometers tall. So yeah, so Mount Everest is already taller than the sky's limit here. And thus came the shabby poem from an Ursine poet centuries ago. Makes sense why they have no mountains higher than 6,000 meters, since catastrophic phenomenon always level the landscapes in hills and flatlands. Yeah. Starpod. A romantic name for the barrier. I've read through every paper related to the subject of barriers. No sloppy theories formulated by Victorian and Lithanian scholars. Analysis on pressure in space. Theory on density differentials between the barrier and the outside matter. Old, outdated, and full of holes. Those Colombian academics announcing their pioneer spirit merely tinker with that garbage. When you get the occasional novel theory put out by younger scholars in academic journals. But they spend way more energy getting tenure and research grants than looking at the sky. Oh, by the way, the test platform we launched the other day has already fallen back to the ground, due to the same old problems with the barrier. The sudden change in basic aerodynamics, massive disruption to the orogenium zone, and the extremely rapid decay in any exogenous power. What about the results of the data analysis from the transmitter? The batch from the readjusted one is a solid. I've also already laid out all the energy cables and connected them to the port you mentioned previously. But Kristen, you're well aware of just how much energy you'll need for this. The theory is sound, however, that won't be a problem. Alright. The test platform's crash landing has caused us some trouble, and the military is burning with anxiety over your disappearance. Kristen, whatever their next step might be, death might be the most merciful outcome. I wouldn't even consider that a price to pay at all. Nasty, do you like stargazing? No. Staring at something out of reach just makes me feel empty. And yet, sometimes the unreachable can become a signboard for you. You are indeed right on one thing. Death is only the most merciful outcome. Then, I hope you don't die before giving me what you promised, Control. You should be more careful. Thank you. I will. Ah, these two chuckle fucks again. Dumb and Dumber. Colonel, how am I supposed to take this order? Let me guess. The agent you sent to watch Kristen has gone MIA, and you've suppressed the news. Your superiors aren't worried about your agents being silenced by Kristen, but rather, they might have signed on with her and betrayed the country. And they're probably even wondering, have you betrayed the country too? It's no wonder you've been racing to find Kristen. My last tour was in Bolivar. In the late 40s, the coalition government backed by the DoD was bumbling around like toddlers in its own jurisdiction, and our intervention policy for the Bolivarian Civil War was deemed a failure. Oh, I remember reading about this. Isn't this also where the dogs come from? They were developed around this time. The DoD's rep has fallen so low in the eyes of our people. The general even handed over control to the armed forces. The DoD needs ARC-01 to restore its image and regain the trust of the people, and I also need it to prove myself worthy of plucking the general's medals out of their dust. So yeah, this is my last chance. But you can lay off the clownery for now, Ferdinand. Come on, Colonel. Who are you even trying to fool with all that? This isn't enough of a reason for the DoD to go so far. And definitely not enough to stake your life on it. Hey, don't you always brag about being as smart as Kristen? Why not use that clever scientist brain of yours to figure it out? It's not like you don't know a thing about Kristen. Surely you ran a thorough check on her before handing the project over. The situation is pretty bad, but there's definitely a contingency plan at work. Your reactions have been abnormal anyway. If your people haven't gone crazy, then it only comes down to this. Kristen isn't the actual reason. No, she's just a fuse. Ferdinand suddenly looks up at Blake, his eyes full of astonishment. He has come to a conclusion that he can barely believe himself. You didn't meet the Vice President to talk about Kristen. What you wanted was a mood. The Wrights were a pair of lunatics, squandering the nation's tax money on ridiculous notions like challenging the sky. And all they gave back to the country was a little lunatic by the name of Kristen Wright. Ferdinand, I respect men of your caliber. Usually, it's your type disrespecting the nation. Am I wrong? I can't imagine the meteor that fell from the sky having any motive beyond an attempt to provoke us. The most generous motive I can imagine is her selling the data to another country. She holds a weapon capable of seriously damaging a nomadic city, and the military handed it right to her. Or the worst, she actually wants to avenge her parents. She wants to point ARC-01 right at DC. She plans to destroy the Columbia that, in her eyes, treated her parents so unfairly. We've already seen enough to make people wonder if they were born in the wrong era. Hell, the scarier thing is, doesn't Jackson know about all this? Don't those Maylander agents know too? Guess how much he already knew about Kristen, me, and you before I even walked into his room. But he still chose to put it off. I won't sugarcoat it. From the moment we lost Bolivar, the coalition government has spared no effort in suppressing the military. Our current state of affairs is, to them, an excellent weapon. It doesn't matter if Kristen is exacting revenge or betrayal. What's important is that this is a scandal for the DoD. And the losses brought on by it seems to be an acceptable cost to them. Do you want to be part of that cost, Ferdinand? Do I even get a choice? If you didn't figure it out just now, you might have. So you can use your connection with me and just wait till we've recovered ARC-01 when the military will coincidentally be hiring a new scientific advisor, or 2, die here with me and be swept into the trash can of history together. Ferdinand stares at the soldier before him, confirming he's seen something in the man's eyes. Whether pure banter or real crisis, silence has connected the two. I get it, Colonel. The Vice President has already broadcast live to every citizen that Columbia is about to enter a new age. But accidents are inevitable on the way to said era. I believe he'll dedicate everything he has to realize this for Columbia. So that's the situation over there near the Triton Factory. The parts regarding Kristen are just my own guesswork. Judging by the military's response, that seems to hold enough water. A superweapon that the government hopes to use to reassert power, or Kristen herself having other plans. Tront is indeed working on a secret mega project, using energy at its core, with unimaginable destructive power, yet to be scientifically tested, and it's nearing completion. That's what I'm worried about as well. Saria, has there ever been a mass blackout in Tront? Never. Tront has separate power grids for residential and commercial use, and each of their power reserves alone is enough to allow all facilities in the entire city to operate normal for several months. Moreover, Tront is a booming technological industry, with dozens of companies dedicated to developing new forms of energy, and nearby mobile industrial platforms regularly borrowing energy from the city. Council looks out the window. The skyscraper in the distance with its gigantic glass facade frames a billow of clouds, its surface crystal clear, like a leaf full of dewdrops. Indeed, it is just a leaf. Her gaze expands, and the building quickly disappears into the nest of countless skyscrapers. Exhibitions on science and technology, interspersed with expo halls and other specialized buildings scattered around at random, like a bacterial colony in a forest. But as she raises her head to the vast sky, the vast sky dwarfs the city, and Tront is only a leaf. No matter if it's a superweapon ordered by the military or an unknown object that Kristen has other plans for, the amount of energy and precision required for the Horizon Arc project is beyond the scope of our imaginations. Energy consumption and navigation accuracy are issues they must solve. So you're implying... I don't know how the Colombian military has assessed the situation, or how Kristen has pulled the wool over their eyes. Even if she were able to solve the issue of precision, my judgment is that it cannot support energy concentration on such a scale, even if you use all of Tremont's energy reserves. Once you start a huge project, it should drain Tremont's energy in an extremely short span of time, like stuffing a giant sponge into a glass of water. Even if Kristen's talents and vision are far beyond the present, the current state of science and technology should not be able to realize such a concept. But she is by no means a simple mad scientist indulging her delusions, unless she has already solved this problem. That does somewhat concern me. What the heck are they talking about? Stop eavesdropping, the door's soundproof. It's gotta be about the factory that went kaboom, right? Saria looked kind of serious. Does this have something to do with Ryan? Doctor, is Silence in Tront too? Can we bring her here? Yeah. Doctor, why are you frowning like that? Oh, I get it. You still blame Calcit for bringing Rosmontis and me here. We decided to come on our own. I've been here before. I can even be your tour guide. Rosmontis, you're looking at the letter again. Are you okay? He invited me to come back here. The feline girl is still holding that thin envelope in her hands. Minutes ago, she opened it and quietly read the letter again, before stuffing it back inside a minute ago. She lifts her head up to look at you. There doesn't seem to be any particular emotion in her eyes, but you notice something unmistakable nonetheless. She is trying to comfort herself, almost like she is trying to smooth out a small wrinkled piece of paper under the school desk without attracting anyone's attention. You can feel that she is confused, maybe even in pain. I forgot again, Doctor. Can coming back here help me remember what I forgot? What did I forget? I should have it written down. I'm sure I know. Osmontis, relax. Sometimes you can turn down invitations. I think I should stay. Head pat. Control your power, don't force yourself to think, okay? I'm here. Me too. Do you have that? Do you have the data I need, rather. We have little time to spare, but these should help. The energy sections project and construction plans and reports from the past 10 years. Energy and Originium art section's experiment records. The scientific investigation section's expedition reports and data archives. It's a lot thicker than I imagined. Their position within Rhine is rather unique. From the corporation perspectives of cost, performance and efficiency, their contributions to the company are negligible. They shouldn't even be one of Rhine's 10 sections. And even though it doesn't rival what the core laboratories like energy and structural get, the budget that Rhine Lab allocates to polar field research and surveying technologies every year is no small amount. In fact, you could say that they're throwing huge amounts of money at them. They collect and analyze seismic data from the from Poland's highlands, surrounded by mountains in regular intervals, and have built close to 10 scientific research stations in the endless ice fields of Sami. They frequently travel to Columbia's Great Lakes, as well as the lowland deserts in the south, for their investigations, and even seek to thoroughly explore the ruins of the abandoned cities in the bleached wasteland. Only a few know what the dust kicked up by pioneering young Columbia, is much older than the sands of Sargon. These scientists have not been measuring the boundaries of this world in the spirit of exploration. Rather, they are looking for something. Old technology, maybe? These last few pages are all about Tremounts. Tremounts? Why would a scientific investigation need to factor in the location of headquarters? Every project I've checked so far has an immediate sign-off from Rhine Control. Kristen. And so did this farce just happen to take place in Tremounts? Or maybe it could only happen here? I would prefer to see some evidence rather than hear more of your roundabout explanations. I have some rough conjectures, but the clues are all a mess, and our present information is inadequate to serve as actual evidence. Let's take a short break. You should go have another chat with Ifrit. Oh, I was about to say something just happened there with her face. Get down, Calcit. Well, sudden change. How is it? Does it fit? It's a new suit of, it's a new suit the Originium art section developed. I made a few adjustments and it should fit you okay now. I'm sure you know how to test it out. I'm sure you know how to test out the new drone equipment. There we go. Yes. Come here. Let me help you with the put the contacts in. Okay. That'll do it. Stand up and take a look around. Nice. Great. You're like a completely different person. How are the contacts? I'm not quite used to them yet. But it's nice to go without weight on my nose. I have to say, you look sharper without your glasses. I'm sure your friends will be shocked as soon as they see you. I'd rather surprise them another way. Such as, say, my personality. You seize the day and work toward that. Don't underestimate what little makeover can accomplish. What a little makeover. I'll try my best. Besides, the lockdown isn't going to end anytime soon. Ugh, don't remind me. The soldiers stopped you once, and it won't be easy to get around now that they've seen you. Get a makeover and upgrade your equipment while you're at it. 2 fowls with 1 stone. Thank you. It doesn't look like anyone's been here in the last couple of days. You came to District 13 for a reason today. I actually bought this as a vacation home, but with how busy my workers have been lately, I haven't had much time for rest. HR director and all. I just located a transmitter from Site 359 here near the scene. Are you here to recover it? What does the transmitter have to do with the Triton Factory explosion? No, Dorothy wouldn't need a low-level researcher like me if you were already on the case. Ferdinand is out of the picture. No, he's not. But maybe there are other sections who want transmitter for their experiments. I also saw Saria there. Just how many Rhinelab personnel are involved in this? You're asking too many questions in one go, Silence. And unfortunately, I can't answer them. You should be well aware of Rhinelab's organisational structure. The departments under General Affairs are only responsible for providing support to the scientific research sections. Originium art, energy, or whatever, human resource investigation has never interfered with any of their research projects. I've never been a researcher myself, after all. My mentor told me some stories about you and Control. Before joining Rhinelab, you were the most eccentric and yet the most successful investor in Tremont. You've never attended a single meeting, read a proposal or listened to a project briefing, but the projects you endorse always miraculously succeed. There's no need for you to be attached to a company. On the contrary, he said you might have become a tech pioneer to steer the course of the nation. But after Control had one meeting with you, you announced you were joining Rhinelab the very next day. The business world is always brimming with delicately packaged myths and legends. The outside world is full of speculation, but at my age, I don't need Kristen to promise me anything. I only wanted to stay and watch her patch up a few regrets. Some her own and some mine. And well, that girl. I'm not sure where exactly she is now. You performed very well at Site 359. You cleaned up after Dorothy and followed the trail all the way here to recover the transmitter. Honestly, that's remarkable. But the site incident ends here, and whatever follows is already beyond the scope of your responsibilities and abilities. You're done here. What if I disagree, Director Jara? Oh, let's not be rash now. I have no intention of getting in your way. I don't understand. You won't tell me the truth, so why are you still helping me? Do you remember your first day at work? You're so reserved, but you still managed to talk non-stop for half an hour. I was only responsible for checking your background and qualifications, you know. While I handled that, Parvis had already scored your employment exam, with high numbers. Then, why didn't you interrupt me? Because you are such an earnest woman, Silence. I have a lot of respect for serious scientists, same as Rhinelab. No matter how far Christian and them... there you go. No matter what Rhinelab may become, we'll always need young people like you to take over the reins someday. You are Rhine's future. As HR Director, my job is to protect our employees as best as I can. So I advise you leave now. But if you have to see it all happen with your own eyes, to make your preparations and choices, then I won't hold you back either. That's all. Then, I earnestly inform you that I'm going to continue my investigation. Ah! These guys. Rosmontis. The very moment the impact force reaches you, you instinctively take the feline girl's hand. Evidently, she mistakes it for you being agitated about something. She relaxes her tightly clenched fist, carries you in her arms, and starts running away. Strong, okay. At the same time, the fiery Savra girl dashes in the other direction, her flames howling. And it's gone. Leave this to me. Rosmontis, you protect the doctor. I'll melt these big metal things with my flames. Fucking Cybermen. Out of the way. Oh, out of the way, Ifrit. Oh, hello. A shadow steps in front of Ifrit. A thick wall of calcium crystals unfolds before her in an instant, blocking the power armor's onslaught. A burst of intense clashing fills the room, leaving a low, lingering humming in the air. Asaria. They do sound like Cybermen as well, with the heavy sounding footsteps. It feels so wrong that the little girls are the ones protecting the doctor. Yeah. We don't know what's going on. Let it go. Doctor, are you hurt? I'm fine. All the data are destroyed. Oh, come on, Calcia. How? The distraction and then immediate retreat. The enemy had a clear objective. There aren't many who know about this hideout. And there are even fewer who would stand against us. I mean, if the little girl could be considered a tactical nuke. True. I suppose the thing I always say in this sort of scenario is, yes, they can do what they do, but that doesn't necessarily mean they should have to. I suppose that's kind of the thing that makes it weird. That makes it feel weird when you see these kids do things. It's like, yeah, they can. There's nothing to say they can't. It's just, you know, the fact that they have to do it in the first place. And there are even fewer who would stand against us. It was Rhine Lab's mass-produced remote armors that carried out this attack. Is it someone from Rhine Lab then? That's not for certain. The military has already infiltrated Rhine Lab, and decisively eliminating unknown factors in their plans is more their style. Anyway, you seem to be on the right track. There are people who wish for us to not go any deeper into this. Or perhaps we've been going the wrong way, and someone is trying to get us to continue our investigation. What is certain, at the very least, is that we have hit a crucial point somewhere, and no matter who they are, the people behind this will pay the price. You're angry, Saria. Don't let the anger cloud your judgment. If Kristen has already solved her energy troubles and cut ties with the military, then we must hurry and find the energy core she's relying on. It shouldn't be too far from the shaft under military control. I already have a few conjectures based on my recent findings. I'll try to work for it, but I require more information. I need to head back to Rhine. I'll go with you, Saria. Don't be silly. I can't watch you right now. If you're here and you can't leave Tremont for the time being, you should spend this time with the doctor. Don't go anywhere. But the bad guys came to our doorstep looking for trouble. Besides, I helped the doctor. You should... No, you did great. Be extra careful when I'm not around. Take care of the doctor, and don't let yourself get hurt. Hey Zom, no. Bonk.
今回の作戦計画と秘密任務はと。うん、間違いなし。ついてきて。
That's bad. That was bad. I should just go with Vanguard straight away. It's not the same as some other... These ones are a little bit tankier than normal. I'm used to playing these low levels where I can just put down Exu and that'll be it. Just solo everyone. But not this time.
I'll do my best.
That's not a lot of
At your service. Attack!
Game reminds you not to be complacent, yeah. Oh, you will like those tanks. Look at their info later. Okay. I think I'll do this. No, I'll do this. Okay. There we go. This is really slow.
Your orders. Ah!
I'm so tense.
I don't even want to use the... Oh. Those are very... Okay, I'll use it.
There! Doctorの言う通りにするよ。真っ二つにしちゃうから。
I should put Perfumer down just to have some passive healing.
これが戦場という
There
も
we
の
go.
ね。
The pause was due to the tank. Oh, okay.
orders of that.
Apple pie!
I'll do that.
Fear not! Here I come!
And that. There we go. There we go. You aren't talking. The room is quiet. I don't really want to talk. Are you bored? Not really. I'm just not used to it. Ifrit has been frowning from the moment they got back to their room, or more accurately, from the moment they left Saria. There are several intricate geometric shapes scattered on the table. It's a scale model of the cities, like Tront's, given to guests by the hotel for free. Rosmontis and Ifrit sit on opposite corners of the sofa, chatting on and off sporadically. You look at the children, but do not interrupt. You want to try building Tremontis again? It's really tough. It took me so long last time. I've done it twice already. Oh, so fast? I remember. I wrote it down. There are a few really hard steps, and then there are a few city blocks packed with buildings. They all look alike, so it's easy to get them mixed up, but I have it written down. Do you always write things down? Yep. I could forget them if I don't. What did you write down? Mind telling me? Doctor, Amia, Calcip, Blaze, Weedy, and some people and things farther away. A long corridor. I got lost. My brothers aren't much older than me, but I can't always count on them. They come to look for me in no time, and they pat my head and tell me I have nothing to be afraid of. They have scars that look alike on the back of their heads too, like the marks I made to, the marks I made to group flowers together last night. Brothers. You don't look so good. Relax, I don't think no more. There we go. I would really like this skin to be an actual thing to get, because it does look really good. I'm in a little better shape than you, but not by much. If only we could choose what we remember. I keep on remembering the noisy, buzzing machines, the room all painted white, layer after layer. It's like they built them like that to mess with me. Just thinking about it pisses me off. But I want to remember what Silence and Saria told me, and what they did too. So you're all sulky because of what just happened? Oh, because of what just happened? Because Saria... Maybe she's worried you'd get hurt. Dr. Calcit didn't let the doctor go with her to look for the Arc 1 either. Silence won't let me see Saria. And Saria won't let me follow her and help her out. Maybe they aren't worried I'd muck things up. Maybe they think they didn't protect me well enough before. Or maybe they think I'm still a kid who only knows how to throw a fit. Wow, she has actually grown quite a bit then. Because obviously in the manga, which is beforehand, she's thinking that it was something that she did. They have a point. But I super hate this feeling. I think I get it. You do? Yep. When I left Rhode Island, Blaze and Weedy kept trying to talk me out of it. Blaze almost burned the letter. Amir and Dr. Calcier let me go in the end. But I could tell they didn't actually want me to come back to Columbia. They were really worried. Maybe just like Saria. Adults are all like that. But I want to remember the things that I've forgotten, even if I'll lose even more. I'm right to come back. It's the one thing I'm sure of. It actually feels like her mental development finally caught up with her physical age. Yeah, I hope that means that her trauma's sort of been improved on as well. You have a better memory than I do. That must mean you know what you have to do more than I do. That's exactly what I mean. You and I, the two of us, come back to Columbia. To Tremont and of our own choosing. And we both have things we have to do. Phew, I feel much better. Rosmontis, once this is all over, let's do... Yeah, there we go. Got hiccups. Let's do some touring with the doctor. We'll go out and have a look around town. What do you think? The sky over Tremont is pretty gloomy. It's usually pretty gloomy. It's really special that it's so clear. I could be your tour guide. Oh, wait. You already built Tremont twice. You know the place better than I do. Okay. Oh, is Calcit back? I'll go get the door. It's you. Oh. You're the Tin Man who ate 4 big-ass hot dogs in one go. Still a kid, though. That is still something that's what they see instead of literally anything else. Yeah. I finally made it out of District 13. I'll have to thank Director Jara for the equipment. For the new equipment. Jesus, I can't think of anything. Honestly, I would have said the same thing. True, to be fair, I mean, it's not something you easily forget. The drone's rotor is probably made of some kind of high-performance optical material. Its camouflage ability has increased greatly, and the surveillance range has doubled. Now what next? This is my only clue. It doesn't matter where it leads me, as long as it brings me closer to the truth. The transmitter's response has been growing stronger ever since I approached District 9. If I remember correctly, the park right here should be closer due to some government planning issues. Irregular geometric shapes of silver floating slowly in the air, accompanied by the buzz of a high-frequency hum. It is another transmitter, but it seems to be slightly different than the one in her hand, and Silence could not make out what the specific differences were. An aged Caprine in the middle of the room nods slightly, as if he had heard someone call him. The transmitter draws a huge arc in the air as it lands on his shoulder. Ugh. Him. Die. Long time no see, Silence. You look well. Silence pulls the excited transmitter back into her arms and slowly walks towards the other party. Professor, made it all the way here from Site 359. You're so much braver than you were before. But I never thought the man I found would be you. I heard you helped Dorothy. Very good. Ferdinand is too hungry for success, and Dorothy is an extremely obstinate woman. Things may not have ended as they did without you. I know you have many questions you want to ask. But first, pass me that crystal unit over there. Silence picks up the experimental instrument next to her, walks over to Parvis, and puts it down where his finger is pointing. She connects the unit to the operating terminal's port, and Parvis is already seated in front of the monitor without even glancing at her, as a slew of complex equations frantically calculate themselves on the display. Only when Silence stands up does she realise that he had given the order as naturally as she had executed it. I'm a busy man, but you've done very well to find me here. So, I'll now tell you whatever you want to know. Are you all using transmitter? Indeed. What exactly is it being used for? The transmitter is extremely sensitive to micro vibrations. It can receive and encode nerve signals, and Dorothy hoped it would replace traditional arts units, becoming a brand new medium that would allow everyone connected to it to completely equal individuals. And Ferdinand intends to use its superorganism characteristics to manufacture super equipment that can accurately deliver weapons across vast distances. So you know everything that happened at Site 359? Parvis does not answer. Silence carefully observes her professor's expression. It is not as if he is not trying to avoid it, or is bored by the question, but rather it is not even worth answering at all. So if you knew about their research all along, then on whose side are you on? Dorothy's, Ferdinand's, or Control's? Or is it my colleagues in the break room, or as my colleagues in the break room once said, the director of structural is an old goat with a permanent smile on his face who always chooses whatever is most convenient for him. I'm not on any particular side, Silence, so the last one. I helped them because Ferdinand and Dorothy are hard workers, youths full of ideals and enthusiasm. The same goes for you. Whoever I don't support is due to their mediocre capacity as scientists, me included. We are unable to transcend this mediocre and feeble era. What about you? What do you intend to do with the transmitter? That's enough, Silence. It's not that I'm unwilling to answer you, but this question exceeds your level of understanding. I have much to do, and lack of luxury of time to tell you everything from the very beginning. Though you may stay, you are one of my best students after all. I still don't like you. Soon, we shall have the most ideal environment for our experiment. One that meets all our material requests and catalytic conditions. So now, we must prepare ourselves for it. It will be the most disruptive experiment in history, and you will bear witness to the birth of true greatness. It is neither short-sighted nor feeble. It will transcend every limit there is, and save us all from mediocre progress. This is the real rightful promise of science itself. The pioneers at Site 359, the workers at the Triton Factory. Professor, your research has hurt many innocent people. Will it harm even more? Silence. As scientists, we need only consider one thing and one thing alone, and that is how to accomplish it. That alone is more than enough to exhaust us. Parvis is speaking very calmly. More precisely, he even sounds a little distracted. The equation on the screen seems to have to do with the transmitter. Parvis never turns to look at Silence. His eyes are fixated on the equation. Silence can tell very clearly what it is that she is feeling right this moment. Anger. She clenches her fist. I see. No wonder I couldn't get in touch with Zarya or Calcit. Doctor, I can task you with this matter all the same. I heard about what happened from Calcit. It's been a long time when we last met. Speaking of, are you afraid of me because of the way I look? You've been staring for a bit. Are your organs made of tin too, or is it nothing in your belly? What happens if your skin rusts? Does that count as disease? You get arthritis, do you put WD-40 on your joint? Yes. I have to press this last one. You've changed, Doctor. Oh, you recognize me. Back on topic. We don't have much time. And given your condition, there's not much catching up to do. The Maylander Foundation wishes for Rhode Island to help us stop the military from assassinating the Vice President. Ooh, that's quite a... Oof. So WD-40 is a thing in Arknights. Oh yeah, just go to Mama John's department store. Doctor, you don't seem surprised. We've just got this piece of intel ourselves. Tomorrow, Jackson will visit Rhine Lab, and that's when Blake will make his move. No doubt Calcit has already gone over the Horizon Arc project with you, so I won't touch on that. Rhode Island should be on the same side as the Maylander Foundation in this. It's a promise that Calcit made to me, and it is also the prerequisite for your entry into Tront. Assist the Maylander Foundation in stopping the military's absurd act of treason. You can see this as an order, Doctor. You aren't here to find Vice Presidents and bodyguards, are you? You're still as calm and sharp as ever. That matches the impression I had of you. Right. The Maylander Foundation is already allocating our resources to ensure Vice President Jackson's safety, but that alone will not stop the military's plan. One of the events after the press conference includes a visit to Rhine Lab. His entire trip there that day will be broadcast live. If his assassination and our agents come to blows before the public, it doesn't matter if the assassination itself is successful or not. Blake will still have a reason to declare martial law and take over Tremont. Just like District 13 right now. Neither I nor Maylander likes it when the enemy has their eggs in one basket. Because that's always an omen of the collapse to come. You sure you don't want Calcit's opinion first? This is an official request that Maylander is making to Rhode Island. You are the Doctor of Rhode Island. If Calcit continues to have her faith in you, I have no reason to doubt your abilities. Time's a wasting, Doctor. I hope you will cooperate with us well. Too bad Mechanist just left Tremont. Maybe I should try to get in touch with Saria. Yeah. Doctor, let me and Rosmontis catch the hitman who's after the Vice President. The Calcit's still looking for the entrance to Arc 01 thing. And Saria's gone back to Rhine Lab to look for data. Doctor, we have to get on this right now. Or are you still treating me like a kid? Just like Saria and Silence? Doctor, you brought me on so many successful missions now. Okay, that is technically kind of true. In 2 more years, I'll get to apply to become an elite operator. Oh, Rosmontis is already an elite operator. Anyway, if you're gonna lock me in a hotel room, I'm just wondering what kind of mission I should assign you, Operator Ifrit. Oof. Hey, watch where you're going. You're gonna get hit by a car spacing out like that. Let me leave you with a little advice, Researcher Silence. You may think helping Anthony is the right thing to do, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Anthony? Oh, right. This is from Dorothy's vision. It's silly to think that Simon Co. was just a victim of their fight with Hydebro. No, it's not. Oh, I thought it was, because I recognised the background was from the other thing. It is breaking out of jail. Oh. They were fighting because they were hell-bent on breaking down the other side. Oh, right, Hydebro. It's just that old Smith didn't play the game as well as his opponent. Anthony's Mountain, yeah. I forgot about that. It's funny that I recognise Hydebro more than Mountain. In other words, if Smith managed to make his move before Hydebro, it would have been the Hydes hunkering down in Bunker Hill right now. Right, yeah, and Bunker Hill's the place. From that point of view, is Anthony really just a victim? But what do you think, Anthony? I can't deny it. But there are no ifs in this world. I know that. I'm telling you all this because I want you to understand something. If you want to do the right thing, you need to first be able to tell what's actually right. You also need to understand that doing the right thing doesn't necessarily mean you don't have a price to pay. It's not just energy in a Virginia Art. I can't tell you where this lone trail will lead. Did I just read Lone Trail? I can't tell you where this trail will lead and how many people it will end up dragging into this mess. Hi, Karma, are you interested on Enfield, or did you watch the trailers of it? I've watched the trailers. I still need to watch the demo video. I somehow managed to not do that. But I am really hyped for Enfield. I've just been avoiding the playtests, though. I've been avoiding the streamers playing it because I, kind of want to see it myself, and apparently it's that actual game that they've been playing, including the story. But you will no doubt come to see a side of Rhine Lab that you have never known. Be it the Diabolic Crisis or Site 359, you know that Rhine Lab is nowhere near as wonderful as the recruitment videos make it seem. It is, indeed, aperture science. Even then, it may still disgust you. If it comes down to it, you may use my permissions as the director of the Originium Art section. Oh, because the story of Lone Trail and Enfield is all connected. Oh yeah, I've seen I know that much just from, well, actually, to be honest, I knew quite a bit of that from when I first looked at Enfield ages ago before the new trailers. It does seem like they were building this event storyline up to try to link it with Enfield. Anyway, if you use my permissions to do anything else, I will turn a blind eye to that too. Director Franks, I won't. The Silence, remember this. Your mission is to recover the batch of transmitters lost at Site 359 and nothing else. If you run into any obstacles too difficult to overcome, you are free to give up at any time you want. There are some things that, until you find your own answer, you have no power to fight. This is science, Silence. As scientists, we need only to consider one thing and one thing alone, and that is how to accomplish it. That alone is more than enough to exhaust us. You're a lot more composed now, but your eyes are the same as back during Hayden 1. Angry over that sick child, criticizing me for those minor issues during the procedures, and even blaming science itself. Ah yes, of course, the minor issues of abusing a child with literal human experiments. Minor issues. Well, I suppose they are technically minor issues, but not in that sense of the word. But as I have often told you many times in the past, only science can change what needs to be changed. It can advance an entire age, but its progress lies in the hands of a limited few. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. Anyway, this is a natural paradox, Silence, and a paradox that simply implies a cost. I have already given you the clues you have been wanting, but Silence, what can you do? You don't even know where to start your inquiries. After leaving Parvis's lab, Silence spends the next half hour walking aimlessly along the streets of District 9. She had followed the transmitter all the way here, but what should she be doing now? What could she even do? Stop her own mentor? Find control and beg for the truth from her? He was right. How could she stop anyone if she doesn't even know where to begin? She is angry, but anger itself holds no meaning whatsoever. Oh, there's more. Holy shit. Hey, you! Liberry chick, out of the way! At a perfectly regular intersection in Tront, District 9, a driver anxiously confirms the current time. He needs to get to his destination within the next 10 minutes to block off a difficult client in time to allow the other party to sign the contract. But in the next second, he feels as if he is suddenly on a roller coaster ride, as if invisible slopes had formed in the air. His car climbs, turns, accelerates, and turns into a cannonball. Huh? Water. Drops of water suddenly appear and chain the car's wheels to a halt. And the out-of-control vehicle seems to almost graze Silence as it slides past her, scorching the tarmac with a shrill sound. Half the road is completely drenched, as if it had only just rained. Are you okay? Sorry, I have no idea what just happened. Silence. Tremont has a ton of cars on the road. You could get run over if you keep spacing out like that. Director Muesli. Just now. I'm just passing by. No need to thank me. By the way, when did you piss off that psycho? Knowing what she's capable of, she might have been more direct and messed with the air. Looks like it was just a prank she pulled while she was at it. Director Muesli? Yes. What are you talking about? Never mind. Nothing that crazy woman does surprises me anymore. Huh? Silence. When did you change into this new uniform? The material looks great, and it fits you perfectly. You look like a completely different person. I almost couldn't tell it was you. How would you know the HR woman's right? Speaking of which, I didn't recognize Iffy either. She's got new threads, and she's so much taller now. Wait, when did you see her? I remember you seeing the doctor. No, yeah. Where? Ifrit? What is Ifrit doing in Tremont? Oh, she's with Rhode Island's doctor. The doctor is here too? Huh? I thought you two were here together. Muesli's surprised expression is very vivid, to the point that Silence immediately realizes what she is here for. There is no doubt that Muesli is doing this out of kindness. The games that the higher-ups are playing are too dangerous, and she is trying to get this lowly researcher to stay away from Rhine Lab while this is going on. Hayden 1 Laboratory, Site 359, Triton Factory. Harvest, Dorothy, Jara, Muesli. She has stumbled her way to this point. How many obstacles will she still have to face? All of a sudden, Silence is struck with a sense of helplessness that she has never felt before. Where are Ifrit and the doctor? I was only going to have you make some trouble for Blake. Never did I expect you to follow the trail to the old goat. The elf saved you, but where will she take you now? Oh well, just a little birdie, no need to worry about her. The fun thing about is when... is that she would totally be on board being called Muesli. I can kind of see that, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, fuck, there's a tutorial. I'm leaving that till next time. Oh, nearly 4 hours, and I've only done 2 stages. Oh. I think this is probably the longest I've felt since playing... I don't know. Chapter 8 or... Near Light. Those two were definitely ones that really took me a while to do. I mean, I definitely do it a lot slower reading it on stream than I would if I just played it on my own. That is one constant with Arknights. I blaze through the events, like the side stories and all that, when I'm not playing them on stream. But yeah, anyway, I'm really liking it so far. It's a relatively slow build-up, mainly just sort of patching together things that happened in previous events. I'm really curious to see where this is going. But I'm gonna leave it for now because this is quite a monster of an event. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream again tomorrow or if I'll do it on a Monday. It will depend on how I feel. Maybe next stream? Yeah. Let me just have a look at what it looks like. Okay, not bad. But yeah, I don't really have much in a way of plans for next week. It is basically just going to be Arknights for next week. So I'll be I would definitely be playing it most of the time. It'll mostly be alternate days, so probably like Monday, Wednesday, Friday maybe, then Saturday, something like that. I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll see how it goes. Long Trail is longer than either of them technically, yeah. If that were an anime, you would constantly see Moo and Snake appearing in the back, throwing cards at one another. Yeah, probably. Thanks for the stream. Yeah. But yeah, this is... Oh, I definitely want to keep playing this. I'm going to be chugging these streams out quite a bit for most of this week, I think. I'm definitely going to try and get it done relatively speedy. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, until then though, thank you guys so much for hanging around. It's been really fun. And the LT is long, yes it is. There are 10 playable stages. At very least 10 hours, if not longer. But until then though, thank you guys so much for hanging around, and I shall see you all next time. Bye bye.